Number one, what are we? We have a list of social media. Do we want to define?
Yeah, I was actually about to say
what
this
is social media?
people,
and number two, who the hell's in this call?
You're right. We just hopped in.
What a way to intro it.
Okay, well, we'll put the Omegle down and we'll shoot an intro and all.
Hey guys, welcome to False Advertising.
No, welcome to the Mocha Colored podcast.
That's right. Yeah, Ryan plus Mocha. Okay, so for those of you that are confused, we had a plan earlier. I got the definition pulled up and everything. If you're confused, that's just because we suck. The internet defines social media as websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking, right? So the reason that you'll see something like Zoom up there or like Discord is because people use those for networking purposes. It is a place that you might not be on all the time, but it's like a place that you potentially will meet people and expand your social network in general. Whether or not that's through content, whether or not that's through interaction, I mean, it's up to the platform itself. Now, joining me today are a whole bunch of super cool creators. We're going to start with Niru, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Niru. I'm a photographer, automotive and commercial. I go by Niru Singer on Instagram.
Perfect. Adrian, would you like to introduce yourself?
What's going on? I'm Adrian. Insta handle is Andros Vision, Adrian Vari, and I also have a Motion Dros. Yes, I have a lot of Instagram pages. Very weird, but I do a lot of videography, cinematography, and I do a lot of motion graphics as well.
Perfect. And Donovan, for the newcomers, you want to tell everyone?
Hello, I am Donovan. What the hell am I? Technically, I do like web design and development. And I also do UI UX stuff and a little bit of graphic design, motion graphics on the side as well. Just yeah. I don't have any meaningful social medias that I actually operate. Just Donovan Johan, that's my name.
He doesn't need social media.
Don't forget it.
Yeah, no, all my socials are my name now that I think about it. So.
On the off chance you don't know me, I'm just the scrub who knows a bunch of really cool people. But in some way, shape, or form, all of these people have social media like as a part of their jobs.
What the hell?
Whether it's for their clients or...
No, I'm not letting that one slide. Give yourself a proper intro.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
Yo.
Wait, hold on.
That's facts. That's straight facts.
This man does flips. This man has coached Olympic level trampoline. He does this. He's fucking nasty. He's a DJ,
streamer,
YouTuber. Producer, YouTuber. What the fuck else does this guy do? Give yourself a real intro, homie.
Childhood friend. Only
my friends gas me. See, I got you. I don't have to say anything. They'll just say it for me. Ultimate lazy move.
This bitch. Yeah. We actually all got played.
But yeah, no. Yeah, all of us definitely in some way, shape, or form create content, and so we definitely come across social media. And at all times, I guess we're taking a look at what are the right steps for us or our clients. And going back into things, we have created a tier list from A to F, and then we have the unranked list. So if something stays down there, then that's bottom of the bin. Perfect. We'll start with bottoms, because those are great. What the hell is this Omega sign? I feel like it's Omegle. Not quite sure.
Oh, that actually might be Omegle.
It might be Omegle.
I don't even... Wait, what? It is Omegle. Is it blue?
Wow.
Look at that, friends. I haven't been on Omegle since I was in like...
Dude, that brings back some memories.
Some very dark memories, that's for sure.
I'm going to put that on the F tier because that's where you catch a court case.
Yes. let's do that. And then...
No. Well, I think it goes in D tier because if you used it properly, you were on the other end of actually trolling people.
There's quality content that comes out of there.
So,
no, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Omegle's definitely not F tier. I think.
I have some personal moments that I have been scarred.
100%. I mean, my
yeah, that's the best part. Like, what do you mean?
Repeated this?
No, bro. It's like r/50/50, bro. But
You know
literally,
what?
it's
Straight up.
It's like the old
literally-
days of Google. I'm feeling lucky.
there's some good shit that okay. I say I'll accept D tier for that, but I feel like I almost want to push for C. Like it's like middle of the road. You know what I mean?
So
No,
here's where I'm at, right?
No,
like
no.
the compilations of Omegle are really good. Like they're funny,
Yeah.
but like
The
if
ones
you
that are
actually
PG.
exist, like you're using it, you're like, that's a lot of penis. You know?
I feel like it's better now.
It's like
I feel like it's
curated
slightly
content.
better.
But when is the
No.
last time you went on Omega? I don't think it's changed.
During quarantine, it's not that bad. Like I've gone on it pretty recently. Like at the beginning of quarantine, maybe it's just because there's a lot more bored people. Like I went on it like 4 or 5 months ago. So did my girlfriend. I think she still like has some people on Instagram that she talks to now, or like not like
Oh.
frequently, but they just like keep up.
You know what? The idea of Omegle was there, but then
The execution and
It's like
Yeah,
4chan got a hold of it.
Yeah,
and
really
then
just
4chan got a hold of it. Jesus
4chan
Christ.
got a hold.
all of it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
fair
I'm willing
enough.
to
All right,
put it
D
in
tier.
C tier for now because you guys have used it.
No, I've never used it ever.
No, yeah. But
Oh, so
apparently,
you
like,
didn't see dicks. God bless.
lucky you. Yeah,
I say it's below average. Below average is where like C. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, we'll put it. At
we can
C
revisit it. We
minus,
can revisit it. I can think of some ones that are F tier, and I feel like Omegle is doing slightly better than those.
So someone said, Donovan, just admit you like seeing Omegle dicks.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, true.
I don't think we need to argue about just putting Zoom in F tier.
No, Zoom. If there was a lower tier, I would put it there.
Can you make one? Can you add a tier to
Honestly,
Zoom?
don't even put it in a tier. Just leave it there.
We'll leave it
corporate
unranked.
greed.
Why is there so much hate for Zoom?
I
Okay.
lose my mind every time somebody says they want to do a Zoom call, and I just want to say, just download Discord, and life will be 10 times easier. I don't want to click a link and have a chat for 59 minutes, only for it to close, have another link go back up, and then join that same chat again just to go on for 10 more minutes, and then everybody say goodbye. Fuck
You know what? I agree with you, but also Zoom. Anytime someone says a Zoom chat, I'm like instantly, oh, COVID. There's nothing else.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Nothing it relates
Dude,
to other
the
than
actual
Discord.
mental association, that's so real.
it's
That's
going
facts.
down
That's
to
facts.
the most lowest possible tier.
Oh,
we've
dude, as
ever
soon
had.
as quarantine is over, Zoom will literally be synonymous with COVID. That's actually like their brand is actually ruined. That's actually so funny.
Well, because that's how it blew up, right? Like as soon as
Yeah,
as the
literally.
pandemic happened, Zoom just fucking took off, and then, but like you made such a solid point. It's like as soon as this pandemic's over, I don't think anybody's going to care about it.
All right, so we'll move on
Sorry.
to Vine, I guess.
Sorry, put Zoom in. Oh yeah, okay. Zoom is staying in like put it in F tier. We'll like sort through F tier
Okay,
and like
and
choose which. We'll make a kill list out of F tier afterwards.
Perfect.
I'm in.
I'm
I think that's not a bad idea. Like we can have S tier. I feel like it. We'll see how it goes. I feel like absolute like bottom tier and like one SS might be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
after we finish, like pick up best and worst.
Mhm.
Actually, someone just mentioned in the chat that Zoom is actually good for education purposes, and I will attest to that because my sister, she's doing university from home and she's on Zoom all the time. Poor girl, but I mean, that's how
It's
she's
better
got
than nothing.
exactly right.
It's better than nothing.
I'm actually like I'm kind of weird about the whole Zoom education thing. I don't have any like online classes like that because I just like have Udemy courses that I'm going through and I'm not at university.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I had like a lecture, I would almost want it to be like a private Twitch stream where only the class was a part of it because like I've seen so many posts about teachers like talking to a class where everyone just doesn't have their camera on, and like I would almost rather have like a Twitch stream where, you know, class is mandatorily open like that, and then it's just the like teacher having their thing sent out and they could like run it like a Twitch stream where it's like, okay, these are the slides, this is me talking, and then someone has a question, you could bring them on. I feel like that would be a lot less depressing for everybody.
Yeah. I have a lot of very, very big opinions on online education and universities as a whole, but I feel like that is a wormhole that
There's a
almost
different
has its,
topic,
that is a completely different.
I will say this one thing. It's the fact that education, especially tuition prices, have not changed,
That's crazy.
and
No, they have not.
and everything just went straight online. I'm like,
Yeah.
like you pretty much took out a whole entire experience for a whole new generation of kids that are just getting into university.
Yep.
And especially for, like, again, my sister went from high school to university throughout this pandemic. So she went from like online education that entire time. I'm like, oh my God, you just missed out on Frosh. You just missed out on like having that ability to actually like meet new people, like meet new friends, especially just like being in that different environment. Like that's been completely robbed of you, and education systems are still charging the same amount, and that is bullshit. Huge bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's
the one. Yeah. The summary of my opinion and why I especially hate Zoom so much is because it's a company that profited from offering a solution to the wrong problem, and nobody stopped to be like, maybe this isn't the problem we need to solve. Because everybody's instant reaction was, let's take lectures and do them in a digital format. Nobody stopped to be like, because there's a reason why Udemy and like, what the hell are the other ones? Skillshare, Brilliant, all of these are successful businesses and platforms that have been doing online learning for such a long time. It's because when you're learning in a remote environment and you're not there in person, there's like different requirements, and it's not like you can't cookie cutter the same type of learning to online. And so like so many universities are just like, sweet, Zoom is here, what a great solution, but it's just like a shit experience.
Garbage.
So like having these 200-person lectures over Zoom is just like a poor way, I think, to handle that. If that's the only way you can deliver that content, it's the worst way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're in like
Anyway,
a
that's
normal
like
class, that's like 30.
It's like 30 people.
Or like
I
upper
understand
year,
it. Yeah.
totally fine. Like a first year engineering class, like we filled the lecture hall and people were still sitting on the floor sometimes. Like
Yeah.
to me, that's crazy. You could not fit those people in
Literally.
Zoom chat.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about Vine.
Fuck Zoom.
A. That goes straight to A.
That goes straight to A.
I think it goes straight to S. I'm not gonna. I'm kind of. Vine walked so modern social media can run.
Oh.
I think Vine literally. I feel like Vine has shaped what all modern content kind of looks like today.
Facts.
6 seconds short form.
Put that in S.
Okay, so here's where I stand. I think Vine is probably one of the most influential social medias to ever exist. However, I don't know if that makes it S tier. They also died, right? Like because Vine was a thing, we have social media where it is today, but they also couldn't hold on, right? Like they're like, even though there were so many good moments, they still ran out and they're irrelevant. The format exists today on TikTok and meme posts, but I like the fact that they couldn't innovate and stay alive makes me want to put it at like A or B. Like it will always be relevant, so I'm down to put it in the top half always, but they weren't good enough to stick around.
Okay.
And you know what? He does make a good point, because they completely oversaturated the content with the same people all the time. And there was a lot of fucking golden gems in Vine, but you're right. Like they never expanded beyond what they had, and they had the potential to just be like the TikTok, even though TikTok is Vine. So
yeah,
right. That's just it. Like if Vine had a better CEO, they could still be there.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, if they had a better CEO, they would be TikTok right now.
That's exactly it, right?
Like we can talk about that, because basically is what killed TikTok. The format restricted it. It started cool, but it ended up killing the platform, because like
you said TikTok, I think you mean Vine, right?
Sorry. The thing that killed Vine was its format.
Yeah.
My bad. I think like number one was its format, and number two, like to your point of like, and you know what's interesting? It's like I almost feel like it was adoption. I think Vine, I remember reading something about this, but Vine was more popular on other social medias
totally
than it was on
on
Vine as, you know what I mean? Like as a distribution platform, like things got popular on YouTube. Vines blew up through like on YouTube.
Yeah.
And being shared on Twitter and Messenger and things like that, which is really interesting, right?
That's a similar format as TikTok as well, though. Like TikTok, a lot of the videos that are also shared on other platforms, but then,
Yeah, they
that's
still hold their own,
they still hold their own
Mhm.
on their own platform as well. So,
which is true. I've never installed TikTok. I
So
would say I'm pretty informed on the content, but I've never actually opened the TikTok app.
Did Vine ever actually had any space where they did advertisements or sponsorships and shit like that, right?
it was
I
so
also didn't
early
install
on as
Vine.
well, right? So
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like
They went.
it was just the norm to do sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. Whereas
Yeah.
TikTok is just like, oh, I guess everyone else is doing it, so let's just try and like connect with all these creators and content influencers right away.
Instagram kind of normalized that.
Yeah.
Like Instagram got really big on like sponsored messaging and like the ads and story reels and things like that.
Yeah.
Like they were realized like, wow, if you can give somebody a full screen ad space and sell it for a lot of money, and it turns out.
So yeah, from like a business perspective, I want to say Vine is probably at like a C or a D. But in terms of the content produced, like it's totally S, right? Like people still quote Vines today, which is crazy, right?
That's
like
nuts. Yeah.
when you look outside, you say, "Look at all those chickens." Someone might laugh, and that is insane.
All right, how do we want to go? Okay, then I guess let's.
So I want to put it at A for now, and then we'll talk about pushing it up or down later.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's. I'm cool with A.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to think about like I guess all of them might have different criterias, but we probably want to start laying some rules because this will help us.
So,
I mean, it's all subjective and art's relevant
100%.
relative to each other. So,
100%.
So I guess right now we're gonna go over first impressions, and then when we talk about bumping it up or down, or even just in general, we'll talk about like the pros for the creators and the pros for the people that consume it. Because something like Vine is like a good example of this. Whereas if you're consuming the content, it's perfect, right? It just offers you serotonin. But as a creator on Vine, you didn't have good exposure. You didn't have options to monetize your content. And it was really hard for someone to find you on Vine and build a following, right? They would just see that moment and it would go viral. It's not like TikTok today or YouTube where someone would say, "Oh my gosh, that's a solid meme," and then go follow you, right? Like people had to rebuild their fame on other platforms, which was really too bad for all of the Vine stars.
Maybe it's, I guess, like, as a creator, it definitely loses some points, but I play devil's advocate, or I don't even know. It's not even devil's advocate. It's kind of like angel's advocate at this point. But you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. I kind of feel like Vine died a hero.
Yes.
Like, in my opinion, like that's the only reason I say S tier. Like it was the little whatever, the fucking, like those flies that have like a 15-second lifespan. They exist to just go give offspring. Yeah, they're mayflies. They just go give birth to TikTok, Instagram reels, and other shit, and then they die. Like that was the hero. Like it just went out in a blaze of glory. Was born in a fireball. Just like I don't know. Like what? Like I'm just trying to think. Like the Vine had I'm sure there was, but in retrospect, like I'm trying to think of like what Vine controversies or like things were like, man, I hate Vine. Vine just like came, gave us gold, and then it left. Like,
what Vine creators didn't need to rebuild their following except for Logan Paul?
That would extend.
Is that a negative? Does that make it a bad social media?
Like here's what I'm saying, right? There are other people that were big on Vine and blew up and stayed up, but that's because they went outside of Vine to really actively push people and build a thing. I feel like Logan Paul was like the star, and people just followed him. But like Thomas Sanderson or whatever, the story time guy who's saying about people just in public, he had to like rebuild it in YouTube. Aaron Doe made a lot of stupid jokes when he was like 13, and then he had resurfaced again on TikTok. But without that, I don't think people would have continued to see their content, and I don't think they ever stopped producing quality content. And this is the reason I don't want to put it as tier. I agree. It is so good, and like from a consumer perspective, it was amazing. I just think that a lot of the people that could be like millionaires or just continue to like have the highlight that they should didn't.
Fair enough.
All right.
But yeah, I mean that's more in response to the chat than anything else. But yeah, I guess Shawn Mendes did start on Vine. So yeah, that's another credit.
Yay.
Okay, this is off screen, but YouTube is the next thing.
Ooh. YouTube.
Also,
YouTube,
keep in mind, I
YouTube.
want to save S tier. I want S tier to almost look like double S because a lot of these could just hit S and stay there, and I don't want to have a super saturated.
well, that's why. Okay, fair enough.
But I mean,
I don't know.
It's
tough.
At the end of the day, YouTube is YouTube. I mean,
yeah,
Okay.
there's,
Idea, just because I feel like we're gonna get into a lot. This might change it a little bit. I don't know if you want to pull this up twice, Ryan, like this tier list twice. I almost feel like we should have a consumer tier list and a creator tier list. I don't know if your thoughts on that, but I feel like it might be easier if we box them. Sorry, just because I'm thinking about YouTube. YouTube is one of the could be is B tier for content creators, maybe A, but it is a very different experience being someone that goes onto YouTube and browses. I would say nothing beats YouTube as somebody that just wants to go down the rabbit hole and consume content. As somebody that wants to make content, you are basically in a fist fight with YouTube and all of its retarded, stupid privacy policies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is so rough.
So let's do this as a whole right now. So with the inclusion of their impacts on culture, what it's like consuming, and a little bit in mind for the creator, and then at the end, if we have time or we want to keep going with it, then we'll flip it and take a look at it just for creators. Because I think a lot of us definitely consume, and so for if you like YouTube at all, it's S tier because you spend so much time, and if you wanted something, you'll find it from other platforms. You want the best TikToks, you want the best Vines, you want the best memes, you want the best Reddit posts, they're all on YouTube. But if you post on YouTube, YouTube says, okay, cool, good luck, welcome to the lottery.
Yeah.
Yep. A little bit.
I can agree with that.
Just because I feel like S tier for content creators is very different from
totally
S tier for consumption.
That's
but
fair. Yeah, I like that.
I would throw
I don't know,
YouTube.
but yeah, just to think about.
I would throw YouTube in A because if we look at it from a whole, from the get-go, YouTube has been around since the conception of the internet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
YouTube has just grown so much from from what it was to what it is now. Obviously there's been a few things where people had their gripes with certain UI interfaces and stuff like that, but generally it's shaped culture. It's been able to just provide a voice for those people who want to have a voice on that platform, and I think YouTube will forever be that platform to do that. Obviously, again, you have your TikToks and you have Instagrams and all these other social media platforms where that give other people that voice, but YouTube, it's almost for everybody, you know what I mean? Especially for those that want to digest the long form of content, because that's what it really is for, right? And again, going back to being in that rabbit hole, you can find an endless pit of anything that you want to watch if you so desire. But when you go to Instagram, you just fall into a hole of an explore page of just useless nonsense, and it's literally just content. You don't digest as much information that is tangible to you than you would on YouTube. And again, that's going to personal opinion of what I normally search on. But even then, I find myself being much more sucked into YouTube because I know I can at least find something there rather than just going on Instagram and watching fucking cooking thing make this fucking four layer pita wrap with that one layer of pita, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't fucking care. You know what I mean?
Or you can get the dude that's making pita wraps with fucking garbage bags.
Exactly. I'm not going to go to Instagram to search for something that I need information on. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to YouTube.
right.
So think about it that, right?
Yeah.
So I would put in A tier.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. They're also the reason that other social medias have blown up key moments, right? Louis, we talked about this on Vine earlier. The reason that some of the Vines got exposure is because of YouTube compilations, right? I would argue TikTok was the same way when it started. The Hit or Miss Girl definitely became a YouTube sensation, and then TikTok blew up because of stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
I'm
again,
okay
YouTube.
with- yeah.
YouTube has always been that support for other platforms too. Like even if like you were big on Instagram, I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 people go to YouTube to sort of continue on, continue on having that voice that they've had with like their current following on any other platform.
All right.
I do
Alright,
think
let's
YouTube
stick
was
with A
also the
tier.
first to compensate creators for sure. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
pretty sure.
Let's stick with A tier.
Yes, yeah.
I think A tier is going to get really crowded.
I do too. Which,
I think A tier is going to be crowded, but we can have the discussion afterwards. Also, I'm going to start setting a timer for 5 minutes per each one.
yeah,
I'm
because
gonna
we're
kind
gonna
of,
be here forever otherwise.
I will visually encourage people for like a minute each.
Okay.
Like we'll all have our turn to say our thing, but I'll like start
No,
yeah.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tinder.
wants to
Everybody
start
goes
on this one?
silent.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. This
Okay,
one's
how
kinda
many of you
rough.
guys use Tinder first of all, or have used it?
I have used Tinder.
Still,
Okay,
I mean, I did.
I did use Tinder as a social media. I almost want to leave it in the unranked. I don't know what social part. I mean, I suppose DTF is social, but I'm not sure how I feel.
I think Tinder is good for meeting people, but really enhances hookup culture, kind of forces people to focus on looks, and can be toxic. Yes,
Welcome to dating in the
Absolutely.
21st century.
absolutely.
Wow, hey.
Absolutely.
I say I'm gonna put it in D tier.
Wow.
It exists and it's successful, but I think as a social media, I think it's a D tier. I feel pretty confident about that one. It's not the worst of the worst. I don't hate it vehemently, but it's not great.
I think Tinder is weird, right? Like,
I think Omegle is better. I've had more interesting interactions with people on Omegle. I can at least say
Dude.
I'll remember the interactions I had with people other than the
Omegle
WDD. The fucking WYDs and random dry DMs of like the most basic people in your area.
yeah, but Tinder, in theory, right, is there to lead you to like real life experiences. Which honestly, it depends on where you live. If I'm in somewhere like fucking, I don't know, Cambridge, Tinder's really bad. If I'm in like Toronto, it's actually super chill. And I think that like in a time like this, like pandemic, clearly it has no use because it is meant to launch you into something real, whether or not the relationship that you get into is a real one. We can talk about later. But I think it's solid C tier because it is always and continues to be the only relevant dating app, right? Things like Bumble and stuff are kind of created around Tinder, but it's super neutral. It's where you are, and it's super subjective, right? Like some people definitely have like marriages from it. Some people, are only there for whatever reasons. But I think it is just like a staple of like current culture that's going to stick around for at least another 5 years.
Hear me out. Counterpoint. I think the time invested in Tinder, I think, is like, yes, it does encourage and it does its job. I still think it is as a social media, pretty low tier, just because it is like you are expected to have poor experiences to get a good one. Like,
Whoa.
I don't know. I just that's like kind of online dating culture, right? Like I mean, it's not implicit, but that's kind of what you're getting into. You're basically saying, I'm just gonna like close my eyes and throw darts until I hit something. That's kind of where I sit with D tier as a social media. Like, there's not a there's not a lot of social happening there, to be honest. It's like there's a hole, there's a stick. Do they connect? And you just kind of keep going until you get it in.
I mean, Rubius is saying the same thing in the chat, right? Where like it's definitely a void of swipe for nothingness, and then you get a little bit of social. And maybe that's the whole thing that keeps you in the loop, right? Is you're just there until you hit that serotonin, and then it's like you're an addict. I totally get that. And as a social media platform, it doesn't do super well because the social aspect is not always there.
Yeah.
I don't want to read that comment.
It's like horny Instagram. It's like horny Instagram it's like mindless scrolling, but you're horny.
No. I will speak on that when it comes to Instagram, but Tinder.
No. Like, I'm not shitting on Instagram. I'm saying like it's like Instagram devoid of all the things that make Instagram. Like
yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Just
I'll
the
like
mindless scrolling, but you're horny.
but to like speak on and just online dating apps in general. So I actually met my girlfriend on not Tinder but on Hinge. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Huh.
so,
not all dating apps. We were talking about Tinder.
Yeah.
but that's the thing.
I
Though.
don't.
So now
I
this
also
brings me
met
to,
my girlfriend on Bumble. So
see, this brings me to ask the question: is it just asking about Tinder, or is this sort of revolving
this is
around
Tinder.
all?
This is Tinder.
Just
Tinder
So,
itself.
but
This
like,
is Tinder.
don't you think this should have included Bumble and Hinge, or no?
They in my last 30 seconds, because I do want to keep it moving, somebody else can retort. We'll keep this one because it's interesting. But I think Bumble does the interesting thing with it changes the culture of what kind of messages you get because it puts the onus on the girl to message first. I think that changes a lot of the kind of people that are putting effort into it, as well as the kind of interactions you have. We can like, there's the whole like sexist or whatever like discussion to have around that. But my experience is that it changes the culture of the kind of people that you're chatting with on that. That's
Yeah, I
on
agree.
that. And Hinge is more algorithm based. It's a lot more targeted, and it's a lot more about matching people than it is swiping on faces.
I agree.
Okay, so
And
if
those
we
are the
wanted-
two things that I think are strong
Yeah.
enough to change it from just the mindless like hole of Tinder. Like that it literally it's like the YouTube rabbit hole, but I'm horny and I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it's just like that
no, I get it.
mindless dive, but it's
Okay, so
Just allow this.
let's replace the kick that's later on, and then we'll talk about like Hinge and Bumble instead.
that was like 5.5 minutes. So let's.
But yeah, I'm good with leaving a D, right? It fails in terms of being actually social, which is super fair.
Yeah.
Steam is apparently
Not to say that Tinder doesn't work. Like I believe, like those shots in the dark, like you have that chance, right? So I don't want to like put my opinion that like Tinder is a shit platform. Don't use it.
No,
I just
for
mean
sure.
like you are signing up to probably have bad times in the hopes of a good time.
You're right. I've met like a
And
bunch
that's-
of
yeah.
really cool people on Tinder, but I would say
Yeah.
for every one person that I've had like a good
It's like 1 in
connection with,
10, right? Like
I'd say it's lower than that, dude. I would say it's like 1 in out of every like 40, 30 people I talk to. Because there's a lot of people that are literally so flat. Like,
this man just flexed. He spoke to 40 people. This man got 40 matches. You know, he just kind of flexed on us
Okay.
subtly.
But it's just like there are people that you will joke around with and they're like, haha, lol. And it's like, bro, I literally spent like 10 minutes on that message and like everyone in the room laughed. And you're like, lol, my day was cool.
And that's
Okay.
how you move on to the next
That's right.
social media.
Yeah, since there's all of this hot steam coming out of me, let's
Oh,
talk about Steam.
nice segue.
Oh my god!
Wow. 10 out of 10
Sign us
segue.
up. Get this one on Spotify. Okay.
I don't really look at
Steam.
Steam like it's a social media platform, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that one's
But
kinda
you know
rough.
what? No, you know what? There are communities.
There are.
So it's from a personal standpoint, like I've used Steam obviously as that platform to just download games and stuff like that. But as someone who try to dive into the community, I haven't. But so to expand on that, like I'm on 9gag a lot, and like I'll always see like posts of people commenting certain things about like and just on any game in Steam community. And even then it's like you have a lot of like good peer reviews of people who buy these games and actually review these games too, of like even like from the amount of hours played. So when
That's
you see
true.
that gives it like a good reflection of okay, has this person played this game long enough to actually have a valid opinion on it? Obviously some people's opinions are always going to be different because of individual taste, but it's still very feasible when it comes to you actually making that decision of like, oh, do I want to play this game? Do I want to give it a try? If not, okay, then that's it. But at least you have that community and those people making those reviews and actually talking about certain things to help you make that decision. So I think I would even put Steam at C because like the gaming community is thriving and I'm pretty sure it's very, very strong in Steam. I would even put it in B. But again, I haven't been on Steam enough in the community world to make that final judgment, but I think it's up there.
What you got,
I can't
Nero?
personally speak on it, so on to you.
Well, Unlucky. Shit. I've also been in that. There's an old game that I used to play that had like a couple dozen active players. Like it was a multiplayer competitive shooter with a really high skill ceiling. It was one of my favorite games of all time. That was a Steam community event. They set like weekly meetup times, like events for basically times when all the people who wanted to play would log on and fill a server so that we could actually play together, because there was only like 40, 50 people that really cared and wanted to play the game.
Yeah.
So to get like a full lobby of like 12 or whatever, they would post events on the Steam community.
That's cool.
I'm cool with B tier. I think there's a lot of cool stuff to go back to Adrian's point about like even just like the review system and shit like that too. Like it exists, dude. There's nothing funnier than like all of the like meme reviews on like all of these random game. Like just like
like I've seen a comment where it's like, I think it was like close to 1,700 hours played, and then the comment was like, "It's a good game."
The game was Strike Vector.
So
for those curious,
as someone who has spent way too much time during our second lockdown on Steam, like I've plugged in over 100 hours, which is more time on like gaming that I've spent in probably the last 3 years. I'm getting close to 200 hours on Steam in the last.
So cute.
Like it's only been like a month and a half. Like take that in. Like that's almost as much time as I spend. Actually, no, that's not as much time as I spend watching anime. But like I look at the Steam community and I say this is great because people share stuff and I get more interested about a game before like I launch it. Like I'll scroll through the page. But it's also not something I would feel like I want to invest in. So I'm cool with putting it at C because I think it has a lot to offer, but I don't think that like it is very engaging for everyone. I think you need to really care about the game, and then you go to Steam or the Reddit.
It's a toss-up, I will say. It's a toss-up between.
I feel Steam is above average. That is the like I say it succeeds. It doesn't like it's not trend setting, but it is not bad at what it tries to be.
Yes,
and that's why I put it in like B tier for not bad. Like
see,
I don't know. Like if we have the distinction really between like there's like ground zero, there's like a baseline, and there's like slightly better, slightly worse. That's 5 minutes. Oops.
Yeah.
But,
so we should actually then take a look at what we think each ranking is, because like I would say, like for something to hit like C or D is probably average, because there's a whole bunch of social medias that never went anywhere, right? And I would say that kind of hits the F and below category, because like all of the things we're seeing here for the most part are culturally relevant, but there are a lot of social medias that aren't. And I think anyone who has made it to this list is probably at least average.
You know what? I'm gonna say it's B, and that's only because like even just outside of seeing like, I'm pretty sure if anybody's a gamer or again follows meme culture, they know that whenever there's a sale on Steam, everybody makes the joke that like, oh no, all my money's gone to, and you'll always see the guy's
Gabe Newell.
You'll always see his face, and it's just like all these percentages going down. Yeah. So I think that in itself really shaped like just a lot of memes and like has really built that culture in a sense, especially in the gaming community. Again, the gaming community is like its own thing, but I do think it deserves a spot in B because while Steam is its own entity, it has had a lot of external factors to play into actually being part of that community. So
fair enough.
I would put it in B.
Yeah, I'll throw it in there.
Let's leave it at B. We'll come back. Spotify, F tier. Let's move on to Skype. Why the fuck is Spotify on a social media tier list? Maybe it gets D because it's funny when I get to make fun of my friends because I see them listening to whatever weird weeb shit.
Yeah, so I think Spotify is funny because like people use it for two reasons. One, they share their music collections, like you're talking about your friends, they're now listening to this. Or people, like it's a whole business of getting your songs on other people's playlists. But like honestly,
what the fuck social media part? The only thing I've ever done. Oh, hold on. Let me go look it up right now. Let me
Also, Donnie, you got like a whole following off of this, eh?
Yeah. Exactly. Team Ivy camp.
Oh my. Yeah, represent.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I was literally about to say the same thing. Plus, in terms of creators as well, people who are musicians on there, they're not getting paid nearly as much as they should be as well. So
That's fair. Right, the way Spotify works is there's a budget.
I use Spotify like consistently on a daily basis, but that being said, still it's still below F.
So for those of you that don't know, the payout for Spotify is they have a budget and then they divvy it up by the amount of listens that people get. Right, you get 1 billion, you get this percentage of whatever chunk, and so that's why it's shitty, is because you could have groundbreaking streams and the world would only listen to your song, and you would still never get more than the allocated budget, right? Which is why it's kind of unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Moving on to Skype. Also,
I just listen to a lot of ABGT on Spotify.
We can also put this one in F. We can also put this one in F tier. Move on. I hate Skype.
Poor Skype.
I only say that the nostalgia of Skype. Like,
I know, but like even then, like
even then, like yeah,
it got the uninstall.
it did. This poster is Gurren Lagann for the person who asked.
Also, the fucking app is ass for Spotify. I just want to go back to this for a second. It is.
Oh, it's because you're an Android user.
I know.
Oh my god. Do you have iOS? Adrian, are you an iOS user?
Yes.
iOS.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
iOS.
it's different opinion. Bro, it's like the Snapchat effect. I don't understand. Oh, can we just jump to Snapchat, all these S ones? Put that one in F tier too. Fuck that guy that owns Snapchat and how he hates on Android. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, we'll get to that one later. No, okay.
I want to put Skype a D.
I'm okay with putting it in D. It was successful at a time.
For what it was what it was.
So far.
Oh yeah, I mean, the rise of Zoom.
I want to get to the more important ones. So like skipping through the ones that don't really make sense or don't like.
Yeah. I'm cool with that too.
So
let's just like run these off. Skype can go D. Quora, I don't even want to rank Quora. I don't even want to give Quora the time of day to rank it.
Really? Do you guys never use Quora?
No.
It's Yahoo Answers, but somebody made it into a company on its own.
Yeah,
capitalism breeds innovation.
It's slightly better. Like I would sometimes go there instead of Reddit because you can get someone's background, right? Like r/whatever is just a shitpost place, whereas like occasionally on Quora there's like, oh, this is the kind of individual that like has made a profile and they're in this field, so it's kind of relevant.
Interesting.
Right?
So
okay,
I feel like Twitter provides that as well, and then you can do your research afterwards as well.
That's fair, but like, because how often do you Google a tweet, right?
No, but if I'm looking at like an article or something,
right?
They're the publisher or whoever is the author. They usually have their Twitter linked instead, and then you go and search their website or whoever, you know.
Yeah. So like I would give Quora a D because it does more than the bare minimum. Where it's like, okay, I know who's answering this question. Like if I typed in, you know, what's the best?
I kind of want to put it. I could give it not F tier. I don't know. I mean, I can't comment on this because I just look at Quora and I go, "What the fuck is this shit?" And then continue like. I don't know. I don't even recognize if I've opened Quora. Google is the social media that I interact with more than Quora, and I guess it's just a means to an end for me. Like I've never actually gone to Quora, but it's interesting you say that. Maybe I'll check it out, but it's never engaged me personally. But honestly, $20 Quora is Dollar Tree Reddit D tier. Let's move on. So Dollar Tree Reddit are my favorite. D for Dollar Tree.
All right. You in the chat win. Pinterest to me is just like the precursor to. What the hell, Visco? And
you know what?
I think kind of like Pinterest. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's because you are a bougie bitch.
Oh.
Oh, that is.
I personally haven't used it, but yeah, you pretty much said it. Like it's inspo, and like even from like a job standpoint, yeah. Like so, my girlfriend, she's an art director, and she does like she tries to get a lot of inspo, and Pinterest is her go-to site. Even like any agency, just in general, like they will go to that site just for inspo because that's all it is. It's just a bunch of pictures of like really nice things. I mean, I can arguably say it's Instagram, but like the layout and the user interface is sort of catered to actually just get your eye on those certain things and be able to, again, it's all inspo. That's all it really is. which is I think
mood boards. I don't know. Like Tumblr is a much more generic form, but I feel like the place, like I don't know. There's like a bunch of these. There's like Dribbble. There's Pinterest. There's like Tumblr to an extent if you go to the right blogs and stuff like that.
I mean, but they kind of got canceled, right?
Yeah, but it's like all these like mood boarding existing, like they just kind of all exist in this bubble of. That's actually really funny. I just realized Tumblr isn't on this list, which is surprising.
Yeah.
But
Tinder
we can add it ourselves later. Yeah, I know, that's really weird. Quora made it before fucking Tumblr. Who the fuck? Okay. Anyway.
I agree with that.
Okay. Anyway,
I want to put Pinterest
I think,
at F. I think it served a good idea, but I don't think anyone other than Instamoms or like people saving their favorite lewds use it. Like to me, like the people that use it are like they use it for a one purpose, and then that's it. They'll share you a photo, but like I'm not gonna go to
no,
Pinterest.
You're right. You know what? You're right.
God,
it is a F tier social media. You're absolutely correct. And also fuck people that send me Pinterest links. I can't look at that shit.
Literally. And the funny thing is, when you get a Pinterest link, the quality is so low. But if you open it in the app, it's like high res, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
F-tier.
And it's a
F tier for fuck people that send me those links. You're right. Okay.
Yes, and it's a precursor to Karens.
I'm sorry, Chels.
So that's just.
So next is Facebook Lite.
Wait. Next is Facebook Lite.
MySpace.
It's for MySpace.
Sorry. I can't read because I'm like looking at it in the thumbnail. Facebook Lite was a new version I actually didn't know about. But anyway, sorry. MySpace Lite. I mean, good job. You guys walked so Mark Zuckerberg could take your idea and run. Nice try.
So I never got the chance to use MySpace.
I also am too much of a Zoomer. Not quite that millennial.
I was around, like I was looking at MySpace. I never made one, but like
same.
It was a thing. I think some people saw success, but the platform kind of died too quickly for people to really build something.
I kind of don't want to vote on this. I don't know. I guess like as somebody, considering none of us have direct experience, the
closest experience I have is like Colin, like the DJ, used to use it, and he talked about how he built like a musical following for a little bit. But as soon as
it could go in there with
died,
Omegle. Cool idea that I don't know. I kind of feel like it fits different criteria, but it's kind of just
it gets
wasn't
an
horrible. Honorable mention is kind of where I feel it lands.
Help shape.
I feel like
I don't have as much vitriolic hate as I do towards Skype, so it can like.
But I would actually put it the same level as Skype because it didn't really have anything to offer.
Yeah, but fuck Skype.
Yeah, but also fuck MySpace.
Okay, fair enough. I'm cool with that.
Okay, next is Kick, but I would like to take this time to talk about Bumble instead.
What's Kick? Wait,
it's like WhatsApp. It's a messenger.
Okay, gotcha.
It was the big one that really focused on like we're gonna keep your messages private and like all about like meeting strangers, end-to-end encryption, privacy, and all that big stuff. And then people realized that when you don't track people's messages and you're like, wow, let's provide a safe haven where people can discuss and we can't spy on them. You get a lot of weird shit being sent to people. Basically, it just became a communication means for like all of the dark web stuff because they're like, we're not going to track you and there's end-to-end encryption, so nobody can find out. And it kind of had to rebrand and died thereafter.
Fair.
Because it was just really popular in some like really fucked up shit.
I don't actually know how to add icons to this, so I guess we'll just go back and add things later.
Retroactively. Just take a screenshot and we'll draw in with paint.
Bet.
When we're done with these. But
I'm not even gonna put in the logo. I'll just like write.
Sorry, what do we want? We want to keep Tumblr, Bumble. Sorry, I'll just keep a short list of ones that we need to keep on. I
actually have no idea where it was based in. I'll take a look for you.
I don't remember either, but Kick is kind of like
based maybe.
That's what Humumu was saying.
Oh, you know it's really fun. We got through that one really quickly, so I'll give you a quick 30-second side tangent. My business school, I go to Laurier for business. It's like part of my program. So in our first year, Kick came to our like school like to sponsor a case competition. and it was so funny. They basically came and they were like, "We have a solution. We want you to implement the solution for us." And it was just like the most tragic thing where they were like, "We know chatbots are going to be the future."
Yeah, it's
Like-
UW.
Yeah.
And they were like, they knew chatbots were the next big thing that everyone needs to have. And so they're like, what's the best use of a chatbot you could implement? And the entire time, every group was like, why the fuck are they making us use chatbots? Because they were like, younger demographics are really interested in not talking to real people and,
That's so
communicating with
funny.
AIs. And everybody in this
False.
class of 19 to 20-year-olds was like, I would literally rather shoot myself in my foot than have anything to do with this. Anyway, it was just a very funny thing of them being like, we've done research that shows this is. I don't think I met a single person in any of those case competitions that was like, I agree with this proposition.
Meanwhile, it's like you're absolutely wrong.
No, it's just so funny that they were like, they gave us the solution. Tell this to the solution was wrong. Anyway, yeah, good times. Absolutely
Twitch.
beautiful.
I want to speak on this last.
You want to speak on Twitch last? All right. S tier. Twitch goes to S tier.
Don't
Twitch
ban me.
made.
There's no
Oh, yeah,
bias
don't be-
at all. We are this.
Oh, I
definitely the
actually
S
really
plus
enjoy
tier.
Twitch.
Um,
Twitch is like, I don't know. There's so much in Twitch. Twitch has shaped so much of internet culture. We have the behemoths of like XQC. We have all of the Pokemon simp memes. We have small communities of people that stream to like groups like this, or even like 50 to 100 and everything in between. Dude, there's just so much life and just wholesomeness. And I mean, there's its fair share of shit as well, like any social media. But like, bro, if there was a social media that's actually done so much for helping people just start putting themselves out there and just like allows you to just consume, like, I don't know. I've spent so many hours just in the like wee hours of the
Ruby-ish,
morning watching,
I love you.
just watching streamers and shit. Like, Twitch got me through the first month of quarantine single-handedly. The amount of hours I spent just like grinding through MMOs or whatever random stuff with just a stream on in the background. Just, I don't know. Maybe this is a very opinionated one, but I feel like Twitch succeeds in a lot of things and it's just brought a lot of new content creators out and also allowed people to consume what they want.
I feel like if I say anything else, I'm gonna get booted out of this Discord.
Oh, bro, you can literally say
No, talk
whatever you
shit.
want.
You can talk
You
shit.
can talk
Please
shit.
talk
It's
shit.
fine.
I'm not even a Twitch
but
streamer. I just
no,
actually enjoy
honestly,
Twitch.
I've been using it a lot more recently, but I still can't speak too much on this because again, it goes back to the same thing as Steam and gaming. It's like they're both somewhat like similar, right? Or like they in conjunction with like both of them, basically. Like a lot of gamers just stream on Twitch. So I'll let Ryan take my 5 minutes.
Fair. Adrian, you got anything?
Go on.
Okay. Here's where I stand with Twitch. I think Twitch is great because of its community. I think Twitch has a lot of stellar people, and that is why it continues to thrive. That's why it drives culture. I don't think Twitch as a company is super amazing. I think they really try, and I think sometimes they miss the mark. I think they focus on issues that don't need to be highlighted when there are other problems. I think Twitch is really, really best shown when you watch highlights on YouTube, when you like see the memes that come out of it. I don't necessarily think that Twitch is the greatest thing like as is. If we're only looking at Twitch and not like the implications, then like Twitch is not the best. People would turn it on in the background and occasionally like tune in for really big events. But I do think Twitch is best served as like a highlights or I'm bored, let me check in for a little bit and hang out. That said, right, like this is also my experience because like with all of the DMCA stuff, I stopped DJing and I've had to switch things up. And I think Twitch has like handled that very poorly. Of course, I could just say fuck it and, continue to do like semi-illegal things and worry about that. But I just think Twitch doesn't handle its problems with its platform the way that it should. I think Twitch has a lot of potential, but I think that they tend to drop the ball. So instead of it being like S or A, I'd want to put it in B or C. It is always going to be relevant. But I think the company itself or like the social network itself is not that great. I would want to put it like at the Steam level for now, with the potential for it to go up. But like I just think there's a lot of issues on the administration side.
I want to hold to A. If Steam is B, then Twitch is A. Twitch is a better gaming social media than Steam in every way. And I will admit, Twitch has some shortcomings when it comes to like the larger content creation. Like they have not done themselves as they have allowed people that play games to become personalities. They have not allowed personalities to make it as big on their platform.
Okay.
that
But if
makes any
YouTube is
sense.
A, I would want Twitch to be B, which is where I would want Steam to be C. You see where
I
I'm
would
at?
say YouTube and I think YouTube and Twitch hold their own. I think like the engagement where YouTube lacks in engagement, like I think the community aspect of Twitch levels it out with YouTube's just like overall content consumption.
See, the thing is, though, a
Personally.
lot of people grow their Twitch because of YouTube. Like that's.
And vice versa. And vice versa. I think
mean,
they go hand in hand.
They do.
like
they definitely
I
go
do
hand in
like
hand.
I do think that happens, but I think someone like Ninja, who grows on Twitch and then builds a YouTube, is a lot less common than someone like Harris Heller, who builds a YouTube and then brings it over to Twitch. I think it's a lot more discoverable on something like YouTube, whereas like Twitch has the potential, it's just not optimized.
Maybe.
I have a
Yeah, go for it.
It's the
I'd like to
best
hear from you,
opinion
the other
because
two.
like on the few times that I have been on other people's Twitch streams, and I'm not gonna say like I'm a huge activist, but like I do advocate for free speech, and I do have a gripe with Twitch sort of limiting certain vocabulary that you can't use, and I think somebody mentioned that too. So that's why I'm actually bringing the opinion now, because I like it got to a point where like I said something by accident and that I didn't know I wasn't allowed to say, and it almost jeopardized my buddy's Twitch stream. And that's obviously something I never want to put someone through. And the fact that I almost brought that person into that situation is kind of like puts me off in a way where I don't want to be in that platform where I have to be restricted with my vocabulary. Obviously, yes, there's a lot of things that should not be said, and there's certain types of speech that like no one should advocate for. With that being said, though, I don't think limiting freedom of speech is right either. So with that being said, though, I think Twitch is an incredible platform. Back in my League of Legends days, I used to go on it and watch League of Legends, and I think the community was great. Everybody was really good there. But from personal experience, like I don't know, I kind of sit between B and A.
Yeah, it's
again, it's such a toss up. Like again, with if they maybe like again going back to what Ryan was saying, if they maybe fix some stuff on the admin, I think it has that potential to be one of the best apps out there. But again, that's just from an administrative standpoint. So if we look at it from just the community, I think it earns a spot in A. But like if we take into account the administrative side too, I think it does take some points off and it throws it into B.
Okay, so let's.
I'll agree to disagree.
Yeah,
we can put it in B. I will die on that hill later.
I'm like
I'll
on the fence about it.
I'll die on that hill later.
Let's
move on to the next one. I'll leave it. I'll agree to disagree.
I have no idea what the hell this is. I think it's FaceTime.
Which one?
It is FaceTime,
that is FaceTime. Yeah. I'm an Android user. Dog shit. Put it in F.
Thank you. F it
Actually,
is.
yes. You know what? To add on that. So I went to Dubai prior to the pandemic. That thing's banned. Like you can't FaceTime. So if you want to buy an iPhone in Dubai, they actually take out the FaceTime app. That's not a joke. There's no FaceTime in Dubai.
That's like some China level censorship right there.
Oh,
I couldn't get it. I mean, they were dirt cheap, but then when I asked, I was like, why are these phones so cheap? And they're like, oh, no FaceTime. I was like what?
You see America.
Allow me to give a real opinion. I've never used FaceTime. I can't actually offer anything, but I have to
a real opinion. I've never used it.
I can't actually. I mean, like I've never.
Snapchat,
I get
Instagram, Discord.
I don't hate iOS. I just don't use it. Instagram.
I'll speak on this last.
Yeah, that's true. Instagram, man.
No, it's just like those to me are better video platform chats. Even though I'm not a fan of Apple for a lot of reasons. I think FaceTime was a good idea. I just think that like Why would I get your FaceTime when I already have you and other group chats on other social medias, and we could just video call from there?
Yeah.
Actually, I often find it very weird when someone FaceTimes me. I'm like just bro, just call me. Like unless you really need to show me something, I don't know why you're FaceTiming me.
That's also the culture too, right? Like I very, very rare. I think this is the only time I'll actually turn on a webcam, even during pandemic, even with most of my friends. That's just like mostly a gamer culture thing. Like voice call, perfectly normal. Very rarely will I actually even have webcam or like show face when I'm talking with people online.
Damn.
But it's like
Somehow I convinced you to do
there's
this
like
shit.
subculture thing. But I don't care. It's just like part of its norm. I mean, on Twitch it's normalized, right? Like on Twitch, like webcam's kind of expected, but in like most contexts, it's kind of like to Adrian's point, yeah, it's like kind of weird, bro. Like, I don't need to fucking see you. Just tell me what you.
Yeah,
That's also
again, unless there's something you really need to show me, fuck off.
Politely though. Yeah.
politely.
So
Okay.
you were gonna say?
No, we can
let's
move
hear
on to Instagram because
Let's
I know
move on.
Instagram
Yeah.
is-
Instagram. I'll start the timer. Go
Okay.
for it.
Let's hear it, bro.
Who's going first?
I'll go last on it.
Nero wants to go last. Does anybody want to start? I don't really have a good formulated argument for Instagram. Kind of feel like it defaults to A.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to like. This one's hard. I don't really know how to criticize it because it's success. I mean, I would love to shit on it. I could
No,
give
shit
you a
on
tier
it.
list of things.
it's-
No.
it's so
I can
easy
give you
to
a
shit
tier
on.
list. I can give you a tier list of things within Instagram, but
Yes.
in a tier list
I agree
of
with
social medias, it is A tier. It succeeds. It is the most popular, and there's the network effect is a really important part of social medias. Which is the more people use something, the more value it gets, and Instagram definitely enjoys that in loads. I have almost, for a lot of things, almost all of my DMs, if it's not people I play games with, have moved on to Instagram now. Like most communication I do with anybody that I'm not that doesn't also play games, which that list is becoming smaller since quarantine because a lot of people are playing. But yeah, like all of my friends, basically it's Instagram DMs that are outside of like my gaming circles.
Yeah, the only thing I think holding it back from S tier is the fact that they've limited the organic growth and they've pushed heavily towards ads, right? And even that doesn't give you the engagement that you would like for the amount that they boast. So like that's why I think it's solid A and it stays there, is because they've decided to market it a little bit too heavy.
Hey,
Yeah.
So I'm reading the comments. I like Instagram simply because I can educate myself, but also post things to educate others. That's where I brought that point up back to YouTube. So again, you don't go to Instagram to search for information. You can use Instagram as a crux to promote yourself to like funnel people to like go to these different channels if you have more information to give, because like straight facts, I'm not going to go watch a fucking podcast or like even a 1 minute video of someone going on about something. I mean, and that even extends out to like Gary Vee. I think Gary Vee preaches a lot of good things, but I can only take that guy in doses. But with that being said, it's like if you're looking for something on an educational standpoint, Instagram is not that platform. It funnels those little content pieces because you can get little bits of information here and there. And like even as like as a photographer and a cinematographer, sorry, I'm not gonna say photographer, I'm not the best with pictures, but as a cinematographer, I usually get like the algorithm sort of like pushes those pieces of content towards you. So like, and it comes down to like the usership and the people that are actually posting those pieces of content. It's like you're gonna get those little bits of information, but it's like, is that really going to help you in the long run? Not really. I mean, you might gain something that might help you in the future, but if you're looking for actual information, you go to YouTube or you go to Google or something like that. With that being said, though, Instagram has helped a lot in terms of being able to network because, again, like Donovan said, it's such a major fucking platform to network and just get yourself out there, just to like even give yourself some sort of a voice. And like, I think it really helps people with on a visual standpoint because that's what Instagram is in its essence. It's like it's more for visual consumption, not more reading. And especially like I have a gripe with people that just post really, really long paragraphs. And as much as like I really like, I'm pretty sure they're preaching a lot of good stuff, and like obviously like this is their opportunity to like vent or just be vocal about something. But at the same time, am I going to read it? 9 times out of 10, no, because again, that's just me personally. I'm much more of a visual person. I like to see what you're offering rather than reading what you're offering. If I want to read something, I'd fucking go read an article on Quora.
All right.
So there's no
Nero?
doubt. There's no doubt that IG is relevant. But you're just saying that you'd rather curate your information elsewhere if it's something like very heavy.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, like I have 3 different Instagrams. I have my personal, I have one for Angel's Vision where I just post my cinematography stuff, and I have one for motion shows. Again, I use it as a method to just post content, and just because like I like to share stuff, and that's that's the bare bones of it, and that's how I grew up to understand Instagram, and that's what Instagram was. Right, it still is, but now like with actually even with the recent UI changes, the fact that they changed the like button to a shopping thing was just completely left field, because I'm like, who the fuck is buying shit? But then that goes back to what you were saying, where they've put in so much money into injecting just people having this opportunity to just put money into ads that like people are purchasing stuff more on Instagram than anyone anticipated. So it's kind of ruined that part for me, and I think that's where I agree with you too, where it's like it could be S tier, but like if they could have just cut back a little bit on in that front, especially again gain those organic views or gain those organic interactions, like that is what you actually want, not just people just going off in the comments and just having these fucking flame wars for no other reason. I mean, funny enough, I guess Instagram has brought back the flame wars, because if you look at a 6+ post going off, especially the political stuff. Oh god, like it's
you
just
can go on all day.
fucking
We can go on all day. Nero, I want you to close us out. What's your thoughts on Instagram? You're super engaged in this.
When Instagram first started, I would have probably put it at S. As it's been progressing and more, I probably put it in B, honestly, right now instead of A.
So when Facebook bought it?
Yeah, as much as I love and use it, and like it's still like my favorite app that I tend to use the most, I still like I know it's just a B tier app, because the whole point of it when it first started was to show and share your images, and then specifically for me as a photographer, to help network and start meeting people that way, and get into something like real life, so you can have real life interactions with these people. But it just got totally shifted, and like Adrian was saying, when the likes UI got switched to just the shopping, like they were just basically using our muscle memory that we developed for God knows how many years, to just promote all these products that we necessarily don't need. But then also on the other side, I'm also doing work for Mercedes and Subaru, where I'm promoting that product and putting ads up on there. And in terms of like looks, design, and whatnot, I just don't personally love it.
But are you gonna buy a car on Instagram?
Not really.
No, it's an interesting discussion though.
Where do we want to sit on this for now? Because this is a big one.
I think we circle back to this, because I think this needs a lot more attention.
Okay, we won't put it anywhere for now.
Leave it in A. Okay. I'd say leave it in A.
Yeah,
there's the relevance factor, the network effect for this one is a little is very strong.
I think it's still relevant in terms of like networking people, but it's just
and its reach, it's the sheer amount of reach of like the fact still remains that the people you want to reach are always on it, regardless of what they've done. To like you can't say that about a lot of these other ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Moving
the
on to
possibility is always there.
I think it's a solid C.
Moving on to Reddit. It's a solid C from you.
And this is from someone who is like on Reddit so much.
Reddit is worse than Twitch.
So here's where I stand, okay? Reddit is a great platform in terms of like I can always find out what the world thinks about something, but browsing Reddit itself is a fucking pain. I will Google something and put Reddit after it, and it will better optimize my search results than Reddit does. So like
Okay.
Reddit is like a Wikipedia for me for public opinion.
Okay. Yeah. But
Okay, before I let Donovan go into it, and it's not just because I know he's about to fucking go off on this, but and I'll say this from a personal standpoint too. I
Yeah, go for
personally
it.
I never got deep into Reddit, and I think Reddit did help shape a lot of the new social media platforms that we see. It definitely has its mark. I think it deserves a B spot, but I do agree with its user interface, and that's kind of the reason why I never dive deep into Reddit, because like just browsing through topics and just being able to like keep up with that. Again, that's from just a personal standpoint. That's just something I couldn't keep up with. But I do think it warrants its merit to sit in a B, even in A, because like there's plenty of discussions and topics that are going in there. So from like a community standpoint, I think it really has a mark in, again, just developing those communities, having those discussions with people, and people are always talking there all the fucking time. And again, it comes down to like who is talking in those, like people communicate in different ways, right? But Reddit has always had its mark throughout the ages, like even again from the conception of the internet, like that falls with YouTube, right? Like from back, like you've like Reddit's been there since the dawn of time, but from a personal standpoint, I haven't used it all too much. But I don't think it's a C. I think it's a B or above.
That's fair.
I will say, if we go by everything else that we've said, I think Reddit deserves I think Reddit is A tier, if not S tier, only because I think Reddit succeeds in the one thing that is, it is a social media that allows communities to be driven by the people that are in those communities.
That's very fair.
That it is probably the most successful social media at actually catering to the people that want to be talking about whatever that thing is. Subreddits and their custom stylings. The new Reddit doesn't allow for it as much. You can like as much as like there is as much. Basically, you can find anything you want. Like there's like you can go onto like r/landscapes or like world photos and get inspo like it's a Pinterest board. You can go on to what the hell is it? Hold on, I need to. God damn it, I can't remember. There's a really good Reddit that's like literally the ugliest thing you've ever seen in the entire fucking world.
Reddit offers everything, right? Like
it has everything. Yeah. I can't find it. I really wish I remembered.
There is a subreddit for everything, for sure.
And based on everything else, like the one thing, like that's the thing. It's controlled by its communities. It's self-moderated. Moderators are appointed. Communities are like basically more or less driven to put the things, for better or for worse. The echo chamber effect on Reddit, like Reddit is literally where the term circle jerk was born. But that is what a social media is. Subreddits can be your family dinner with 10 people just shouting over each other, all with the same opinion. Nobody's actually wrong. You all agree, but you're all yelling about the same thing and still somehow having an argument. But that's what Reddit is. And nothing really captures that feeling as well as it does. There's no overarching theme. There's no overarching, like, I don't know, like pressure, the same way that like Instagram and like these like large, like they all have interfaces and experiences that are tailored towards something.
Yeah.
Like Instagram has a thing that it has a way it wants to tell you things, and Reddit kind of allows its subreddits to decide that for itself.
Yeah.
Nero, what do you think?
I can't speak on it.
Okay.
I don't use it enough.
So, like, I agree in terms of what it has to offer. It's totally an S. I just think that the optimization of the information it presents to you is really lacking. Like, I can be on a VPN, like, fresh, brand new browser that I just downloaded, and Google will still give me, like, of course it's Google. Nothing's going to be Google optimization. But, like, Google, YouTube will just offer me way better content, or even Instagram Explore right away, right, in terms of just like the relevance. And I don't think Reddit does that. I think Reddit has like a really long curve where it just follows your account and then offers you things slowly. And I think that's the problem, is it's a really slow burn. Like, I think the information is so great, but I just don't think the way that it's sent to you or curated on like your homepage is not the best.
Yeah. If you follow subreddits, but I would argue, like, I would argue the way to consume Reddit is like to get engaged with the subreddits.
That's fair.
Like I feel like everything else,
Mhm.
like all of the generic like following subreddits and having things and having your own feed and like r/all was kind of more of an afterthought of what, like, to cater to people
Mhm.
that are used to things like Instagram.
But like
and
that's
used to
the
more
problem, right?
traditional
Is when you
social
log
media.
in, you're on r/all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it draws inspo from message boards.
That's true.
That is our 5-minute timer.
Yeah.
But
Where
it
do we want to
yeah.
put it for now? Because this is a big one.
I don't think it deserves any lower than B.
I say A.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
A
all
or
right.
B.
We'll leave it at
B.
A for now. Like in terms of the depth and the variety, it's huge. And then we can argue about like the way it delivers it.
Yeah.
So Messenger and Facebook are here as different things. I think
Yeah.
I
Now they're
like
kind of the same.
they're kind of the same, but they're also not. Like, for instance, I use Messenger all the time. I use that for my texting. I use that just because it's got an overlay app, and I think that's phenomenal. And because of that, I would rate it a lot higher than I would Facebook. Like, I would put it at S tier because it is so convenient.
Messenger might, yeah. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna talk. If I talk about them at once, I feel like Messenger. If we take out the specifically direct messaging part of Facebook and look at Facebook as a tool for like just like your news feed and groups and all of that, I would actually put that in B tier. I think Facebook functions like Steam for people that don't play games. Like, Facebook is basically like a very similar atmosphere to Steam. Like, it accomplishes a lot of the same goals for like normies or just people that aren't internet culture
Yeah, for sure, right?
super versed.
Yeah.
And then
But-
I would agree Messenger is an S. Like, just
Oh
Yeah.
wow, an S.
I would
Yes,
put S.
that's-
I would put Messenger as S tier. Maybe only because it's just like, I don't know, selling your information to whatever company aside, that is basically where I store all my photos now. Like, I almost use it like a Google Drive. Like, the amount of times I've just gone back with friends and scrolled up to messengers from like 4 years ago, or we just looked through like what was the first stupid photo we sent to each other a few years after knowing each other. Like, I will use it to share files with people. I will literally like use it to share photos. We'll have everything saved there, group chats for school assignments. Like, it is pretty versatile. But it's hard to say though, right? Like, because it isn't really a social media. It's like a tool. Does it even belong on this list with all the other things we've described?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like when they came out with the Facebook Marketplace, that really started to become competition against like Kijiji and eBay, especially like for people like that were closer to you. So I think they were able to take the active users that they had and just able to drive all of them to just use Facebook Marketplace as a platform to just like sell shit, right? And that's kind of like following I guess because Facebook and Instagram have those similar user interfaces, again, not doing the exact same thing, but I've noticed that they've been sort of gearing themselves towards purchasing and buying, and like, again, the marketplace and the store in Instagram. It serves for what it does, and I personally like. I was big on Facebook in high school, and then I just deleted it because I just didn't want people to see that past side of myself. So, and then even then, like, Facebook kind of died out for me too. It just didn't do what I wanted it to do, and like it was cool for what it was at the time, and now I just don't see it being as strong as it used to be. I mean, apparently it's still thriving, but even then, like, people has used it as a tool to do Facebook ads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's literally what I do on it most of the time now.
So like it you know what? And I think Donovan is right in that retrospect where it is a tool at that point. So it doesn't fall under the social media spectrum anymore. It does still do that, but it's more a tool now than it is social media.
Right. However, now Messenger
wanna
is linked with your Instagram chat, so it becomes an extension of that as well. Right? Like,
Yeah, I
you
was
can-
gonna
I
say-
don't have that linked.
yeah.
I think we don't. I don't want to rank. I don't actually think I want to rank Messenger in this.
Okay. We'll leave it. We'll leave it unranked.
I think we should just like leave. Like, I would rank Facebook and think about Yeah, like let's rank Facebook. I would put Facebook at a B tier. That's where I feel Facebook sits.
Yeah.
I think Facebook
Yeah.
still holds its own, and I think it still has its uses. Like Marketplace is not useless. Like it has so many tools, and I still feel like pages, or not pages, but like Facebook groups. I think
They're still
I actually-
relevant. Yeah.
they're
So,
still
yeah,
relevant. I think they're going to be less relevant. I think
I don't know about that, man. I
You
like.
do-
I don't know.
I think
You do
they
need a
will
Facebook
be.
page to. You do need a Facebook page to actually, if you want to have a, say you have your own
Instagram.
business.
Yeah,
if you
for
have your own
Instagram.
business
That's true,
for
actually. Yeah,
Instagram
they keep it alive that way.
and on Google too. So if
Yeah.
you want to have your business visible on
very true.
Google, you need
Yeah, you're
that
right.
Facebook
It's not going
page.
anywhere. The only thing
So-
is like the big thing for that used to be like groups and events. Like just
Mhm.
planning that with friends was so easy to just have an RSVP button that's just integrated. Like I already have them added. You don't need to worry about contact info. There's no like managing a group chat. You just invite people to an event.
I
It's,
think
really
it
handy
like
that
like
way.
Facebook
Yeah.
groups kind of serve like a Reddit, except it feels more local,
That's our 5. Yeah.
right? Like
Cool.
I'm okay with saying it's been on the decline because Facebook is not the thing that we spend our time on as much as we used to. But I definitely think it still holds its own. I would put it like comparable with Twitch, and not because it offers like the cultural icons that Twitch does, but just because it is like it's a strong staple. It's like a fucking Zayres or like a Walmart, right? It's just like it is there, it continues to be there, and you will use it, even if you
Yep.
have nothing to say about it.
Yes, sir.
All right, throw that in B.
So Google Plus is also on this list, but I don't really have any. Like that's an F. Like that was a Google is
tier,
gonna
kind
try
of,
and do something.
crashed and
then-
burned.
yeah. Right.
Rest in
Because
peace, Google Plus.
they did their circles, they did Google Plus, they did Hangouts,
tried.
and I think they all just kind of.
They tried, but
Hangouts actually was not bad. Hangouts is pretty cool. I would put Hangouts.
You can't even use Hangouts the way that you used to be able to anymore, though.
I know, but when Hangouts existed, I loved it so much more than Skype. God, it was like
I need to run.
I fought tooth and nail to get people to use Google Hangouts
That's
over
fine.
Skype.
Okay, I need to run to the
Like-
washroom real quick. Can you guys start on DeviantArt? Because I have
That's
the
a-
least about like I have the least to say.
I
about
I
it.
don't
also
even
have the
know
least
what
about. I
DeviantArt
don't
goes
know.
into S for Sonic OCs.
Okay,
What is
how about you talk about that? Because I know a lot about DeviantArt, but I don't use it.
S tier for Sonic OC. DeviantArt's just, I don't know. Do you know ArtStation? It's literally just an art platform. It's
Okay.
it's just been memed on for having like anyone can make an account and post art, and it has notoriously bad art. Like a lot of, it had like a time where it was just notoriously bad. Here, you can literally Google it. Do yourself a favor, just Google
Yes.
DeviantArt OCs. Let's see, what does Google Images give me for that? It's the first result. Yeah, and you can just kind of, yeah, you can get some. I feel like you just Google image DeviantArt OCs, and you'll just kind of see the kind of quality
Huh.
of stuff. This was just a
Okay.
particularly big place where
Interesting.
yeah,
Very
it's just
interesting.
it's like a less professional art station, if you know what that is. But it's literally just a place for sharing artwork.
Okay.
Typically like digital medium, like it's not. It might have expanded now. I haven't been on it in years, but when I went on it, it was basically where like anybody that was on any threads or forums would host their images if it was any artwork. Kind of just like
Right.
a catch-all for that. As a social media, I kind of like
To me, it
Pinterest.
just looks like another Pinterest.
It's like a Pinterest for your original creations. It kind
Someone
of
someone said I feel like DeviantArt is overly hated on due to the cringy users.
yes, but unfortunately, your merit as a social media is your public perception.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is the tragedy of ranking social medias.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's not objectively bad. Like there's nothing really wrong with it. It just kind of got a shit reputation.
I don't
What's the-
know the rep behind it. So as just from looking at it like from face value, I mean, looks kind of cool. I just see a bunch of art, and I mean,
It's just amateur art. That's basically all DeviantArt comes down to.
mm,
But in terms of a like media it could be another case of Quora where I just don't know because I was never super engaged with it. But
yeah,
I would Pinterest it. Like it's kind of in the same boat of people link to it and I go to it and I'm mad because I have to go to a web page instead of just viewing the actual image. And that's the
Yeah.
only time I've really ever had interactions with DeviantArt. But as I'm told, there were a lot of art communities, like a lot of digital artists that are even like Twitch streamers now will talk about like childhood stories of people they met on DeviantArt and like sharing art techniques and like sharing brushes and stuff with like comments and people supporting each other. So
Yeah,
there was a
it's
community
very
that
niche.
existed. It was very niche, and
Very
it did
niche.
exist. I never interacted with it.
Like, it still does exist today. I don't know what you have or haven't said, but I feel like the only reason that someone who doesn't make art would go to DeviantArt is because they're looking up like a thumbnail or just like a piece of art for something they like that's not made by the original company.
And also if you're an artist and you're in that space, there's like several websites now that are newer and have more tailored content to what you're looking for. So
where do you
it
want to
kind
put
of
it?
just
Where do you want to
Pinterest. It's an F. I'd say it exists where Pinterest and Quora do for. Unfortunately, it is not a bad, but like it's not a bad platform. It's just not a good social media.
Fair enough.
Okay, Discord, the one we're on now.
S.
I can speak.
A.
S.
I would-
S.
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 I would,
Yes.
so
S.
I would say
S.
S.
S. S.
Only
S. S. S.
because-
S.
Yes, 100% yes. Well, I mean, Adrian knows this best, but we've been on a Discord chat server basically with a bunch of people. I think maybe 20, 25 people.
Yeah.
And we started it just before New Year's, and every single night, like we're all creators and photographers and videographers, and every single night we've been on it consistently, steady, yeah. And to the point where, like, I mean, Adrian and I don't even know each other for, it's not even been a month, and we just shot something together like 2 days ago. Already had 2 meetups, even though due to a lockdown, like, like that just shows to you like how much, like, if you're talking about social media or like having social interactions, I don't think that, for at least our experience, I don't think it gets better than that, to be honest.
Someone just mentioned, I'm a be real. I don't like I don't like Discord's UI. And you know what? I've heard that from a lot of people, and I think people need to give it time. Again, it does take time to fully understand the UI, but even that, like, I was able to catch on like within like 2 days.
Managing
and even
servers
that
sucks ass.
Yeah,
that is managing lots of servers. If you have lots of servers, it kind of blows, and that is the main part I hate the most about it. The mobile UI is also pretty uninspirational.
It needs
the management
a lot of
between
work.
servers and direct messages is kind of like, I kind of get what they're going for, but it's kind of weird. Like I said, I've gotten used to it, but I also was a TeamSpeak boy. Like I went through Mumble, TeamSpeak, and all of those, and it feels very familiar to that. Like it's kind of like a trade-off where it's like the UI in those was god awful, atrocious, but you got used to it.
Yeah.
And this is definitely grabbing at that user base. It's like Slack. It really just goes like Slack, and I guess because of that, which is also inspired by this old like internet chat roulette or whatever, the IRC kind of like styled chatting tools. Again, Discord is not a social media, kind of. The only reason I want to, and I know like Messenger does have this, and like I thought about it in retrospect, where there's like the groups that you can join. But I feel like that was a failed experiment. Discord actually has servers that are communities and exist all the way down to like group servers where it's like me and a dozen friends that play games. And to your point, like the amount of engagement that it fosters, it's like Reddit and its subreddits, except it's like super personal and just these like tight knit groups.
It's
that focuses on live communication. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just stand behind the company as well. I mean, they're not perfect. No company is, but like all of their marketing, all of like their just like mission and goals and the way that they work and the way that they try to get shit done makes me very happy. So.
Yeah, the thing about Discord that lacks maybe what some people would want is that the notification handling is crap. Like if they just copied the Facebook kind of like method, I feel like it would be better where it's a little bit more optimized. But I do think it has a lot to offer as a social media. Like I met like so many other content creators through Discord, and I put in the same space that I would put Reddit, where like you go there to find people who think a certain thing. I just think that Discord would require like more commitment from an individual, where I can kind of browse a subreddit and just feel like I know what's up. I can't really do that with the Discord or a Twitch. Which is why I would want to put it at B. Like I think it's got S tier in terms of what it offers. I just don't think socially like it's easy to check in, right? Because at the end of the day, we're dividing our time behind all of these platforms. and each one should be able to offer me like optimal, this is what's going on while I've been away. And I feel guilty for not being on Discord if I haven't in a while, because the notifications just fly up and I'm not going to go check through all of them. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
I've been using Discord since its conception, and
Same.
I've been using it ever since. Again, I've always had my gripes with it, but like over time I overcame it. I overcame it. I didn't really care about it at the end of it, because at the end of the day I was just able to communicate with my friends, like some League of Legends, like some COD these days, and like even just like people who don't really use it that much, even like for people that are like especially when now that cross-platform is a really big thing, it's very easy for like people that from PlayStation to Xbox to PC, it's very easy for all of us to connect. I mean, again, their phone interface, it needs a lot of work, but even just to expand on what Nero was saying is that, and to even like add on to that, I have never felt more motivated to actually like do more, especially being in that, to even feel that I'm in that environment of other people that are like-minded, that also like to create too. And like up until like closer to the Discord, I didn't really get that feeling. And when I joined this, like just this group of 25 people there, again, we're constantly talking every day and just getting to know each other. And we've gone that rhythm of actually just sharing information. I mean, today it wasn't even about content creation. We talked about fucking stocks. So which was sick, but like just being able to have that capability of being in those environments and just having a lot more openly free live communication just makes it so much better. And again, the app's free. And obviously, if you pay, you get a little bit more perks, but that just comes down to like what your own personal objectives are. But like, I think Discord's here to stay. I think it has a lot to offer. I do see what you're saying though, Ryan, where it's like it doesn't fully meet those social media capabilities. I mean, because like you almost have to build that community from the ground up by yourself. But when you have that community, it's 10 times better. So it acts just like just another medium to just be able to talk to a lot more people, but it doesn't truly meet S tier. Although it does have those S tier qualities, doesn't truly meet the S tier.
Yeah, I think it is like the most authentic of all of these social medias in terms of communication. Like it feels the most real person to person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is how I feel as well. And for that alone, I still hold strong.
That's why I would mainly do that as well.
I hold strong to S tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just want to make a quick note. I do really need to get back into editing, so
we can bang these off. Probably gonna 15-20 minutes.
Okay, 5-second thoughts on Snapchat.
Motor through these.
Thanks for the follow, by the way.
I only Snapchat my boys and my girlfriend, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think it offers a lot socially.
Same.
I think it's good as a thing. I feel like it's.
I think
it's
Snapchat had a very, very easy to copy value proposition.
Yep.
All of its value is gone because I can do the identical thing now in Messenger or Instagram or literally any other social media and accomplish the same thing.
I mean, I would argue that Snapchat is like a lot more used for like the dating phase. Like now, right? Like I'm not gonna
probably
send, right? Like nobody's gonna send a picture on like Instagram when they might slip and accidentally post it to their story, like or if it's just like, oh, this is my day. I think that's what Instagram's gonna take over, or Facebook. But like Snapchat's gonna be like, oh, I'm dating and I want to see your face, but we're also just texting. That's why I want to put it at
fair enough.
What's that like?
It's got its challenges, right? I mean, the two above us are the ones that are not single. I just have. There's a reason you and I are on the bottom, okay?
Toxic.
I will also say one thing that as soon as Snapchat's explore page.
Fuck that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That
but you know what?
ass.
Apparently, it's a hit with the kids.
Yo, actually, okay, I did this once. It's not bad, but I would need to want to be on Snapchat to use it, and I would never just want to be there. right? Like
why would you browse Snapchat?
I go
like,
on
it's such a, like,
Snapchat
one and
to check
done.
my messages, and it's
Yeah,
always
exactly,
from women.
right?
Like I use it to communicate with women, like platonic or not. It's just what I find that the women in my life use. Like that's it.
That's true. That's
Right?
true.
Fair enough.
All right, F.
Yeah, honestly, I put it. Maybe it gets a D. It gets an F tier because the owner
Can we
is.
get-
a
can we
fucking
put it in
prick
D
the way
for
that he
booty
programs
pics?
it? No, we can't. You know the shit. You want to know why that meme about Android potato phone cameras started?
Yeah.
People
Oh
talk
yeah,
about why iOS
you're right. Fuck Snapchat. You're right. Fuck.
Okay,
Snapchat.
okay. A quick story. There's a story. You know how there's like those memes about like Androids have shitty cameras and like that started and got popular? That came up the same time that Snapchat was like the biggest social media and popping off. And the reason it's like that is because this dude that runs Snapchat just hates Android. He hates it as a platform. He thinks Apple is better. So the Snapchat app is programmed to not use the camera on your Android phone. When you take snaps in Snapchat, it will screenshot the viewport and send the screenshot of your viewport. So the pictures you take are always limited by the quality of your phone screen. And it is literally, that is why Snapchat for Android runs like such ass. The creator of that company can literally go fuck himself.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, no, it's actually the most stupid thing in the world. And yeah, anyway, the Android app is just like, I don't know. I think him and the Spotify owner must be in cahoots apparently, because the Android Spotify app is also a literal piece of dog shit. And the Spotify iOS app might be one of the best apps ever made. I don't understand how, like, the most fundamentally basic things are different. Like, you need to press a more menu, type it, like hit a button, and then you can search in a playlist. And on iOS, the search is literally just at the top. Like, you just tap the title and you search right in there.
Yeah.
On Android, you have to like go like 3 menus deep to find a search phone. Like, that's just one of a bunch of random weird quirks about. I don't understand why it's so hard. Anyway, it just makes me want to cry. But yeah.
Okay, SoundCloud. It's basic.
My vitriol. Thanks. I feel better.
SoundCloud is like the Deviantart for music, right? I do think it offers more relevance, though. Like
no.
Because
SoundCloud gets a fucking F.
so prior to
SoundCloud for the
TikTok,
fuckboys that do SoundCloud rap.
Prior to TikTok, I think SoundCloud was a way for independent artists to like have a voice.
I will respect that.
And I think that like before TikTok, it was probably around C or D, where like occasionally somebody would blow up and you're like, I respect the fact they were on that SoundCloud like ride. Nowadays, it's definitely becoming more and more irrelevant. I'm totally okay with putting it at D or F.
So I used to make music back in the day.
Oh,
and
shit. Collab when?
When I first used it, I thought it was really cool. And I think it was a really good outlet for new creators to just put music out there. Right. But as soon as they just started like becoming that streaming platform, which I guess it makes sense for a streaming platform of music, you have to make money somehow, otherwise you won't be able to sustain.
Yeah, exactly.
With that being said, though, you kind of almost like ruined the essence of what SoundCloud was supposed to be.
That's true.
And that really fucking hurt me, especially as somebody that was making music. And not to say that was the reason why I stopped, but like it was just such a turn off for me. And I was like, fuck me. And like at that point, I was just posting stuff on Instagram, and like that was the old Instagram. And I would literally take a GoPro and just like post little things of just me making music, and that was it. And now that's just, again, like that was just because I had such a quarrel with SoundCloud. So that's just me.
Much love from Ellis. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with putting it in F or D. I don't feel like it succeeds very well as a social media platform.
Yeah,
I think it's another one. It's another one of those Pinterests where like links get shared, or even like Spotify isn't even a fucking social media. SoundCloud is like, yeah.
I'll be back. I'm just going to the bathroom. In terms of 4chan, though, I personally never used it, so undetermined.
Fair.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
Same.
SoundCloud had it stay, and it didn't age well.
Oh, nice. We don't get to talk about 4chan. All right. I also am not a 4chan user, but green text exists, and green text makes me very happy. Green text.
What do you mean by green text? Like the
you never seen like the green text? I'll just the story.
Just
literal. Okay. Like just Oh man, dude, the green text highlights, at least the ones that are, that you can at least bring, the ones that are at least PG enough that they can get reposted on other social medias. Inspirational, absolute relics of a time long past when the internet was a very different place. Nostalgia. I don't know. I don't even, to be honest with you, it's like Reddit for incels.
Okay,
even bigger
but
incels.
hear me out, right? In its golden age, which arguably is over, but could come back depending on how the internet works. 4chan had a lot of really crazy activism come out of it, right? Like you had activism come out of there, and
damn.
And right, I think it always like deserves a place. I want to put it in like the Omega tier, where it's like there's some real cesspool shit, but some real good came out of there.
Yep. There was some beautiful thing. Do you guys know about the whole about the capture the flag, the 4chan capture the flag?
I don't know about that.
No.
Oh man, hold on. I don't remember who this celebrity was. Hold on. This is a beautiful story. Okay. So basically, this was in 2016 when who the hell was it? I need to remember. Shia LaBeouf. It was Shia LaBeouf. He started the whole "He will not divide us." Remember, like the "He will not divide us" when Trump was being elected in 2016. He was doing a whole like campaign, and they had this thing where like they basically they waved a flag, and the flags was like it was literally just a flag in the middle of some place, and they waved the flag and just says "He will not divide us," and they just had like a live stream going of the flag. I don't remember.
Can you find where the flag is?
No. It was just a live stream that was in solidarity. And 4chan, within a matter of like 2 days, I don't even think it was that. It was literally sub 48 hours. They literally looked. They watched planes in the stream. They looked at the nighttime view with like stars and shit. Literally, 4chan triangulated the position of this, found somebody that lived nearby. He went there, took the flag down, put up a MAGA hat, like a "Make America Great Again" hat, and flew it on the live stream. And this went on like several times. Like, they did it like 2 or 3 times, like where he tried to move it to someplace until at the end where eventually like he just couldn't. And it was literally the most beautiful thing. It was just so funny of just 4chan trolling. I mean, it wasn't really activism. There was no intent to actually do anything, but they just wanted to fuck with this.
Yeah, but like I mean, that's culture stuff, right? But
like there was some dude, it's so good.
They've done so many interesting things, and that's why I want to put them at a C, right? Like, if you don't use 4chan,
it's Omegle. Yeah, I'll put it with Omegle.
You'll never hop on. But the shit that you'll hear from 4chan, or like the highlights, whether it's huge like quest. Something like anonymous or like crazy quests like that, it's gold.
Oh my god, the beautiful artifacts of the internet.
I also love how we've put Tinder as more toxic than Omegle or 4chan because you get more interaction in the other two.
Yeah, but 4chan is
true.
It's a different interaction.
For sure.
But I'll still interact more.
Already put up.
Okay. I don't think anyone has...
I'm dabbling in the greens now.
Oh, fair.
Respect.
I don't think anyone would disagree that TikTok is S tier in terms of the exposure you get, in terms of like the potential, in terms of the way that like creators can be rewarded, in terms of just like thriving communities. Like, I would say it's a little bit harder to browse if you were interested in different communities, but I think your For You page really does a good job at tailoring everything into one feed for you.
Is that a rookie mistake on camera that I... Oh my god. He had to mute. Okay, we'll get back to you.
TikTok.
No, I agree with that. It's funny though. I have no interest in downloading the TikTok app. And I doubt I ever will.
I had that same,
Maybe one day, I don't know. Everything gets reposted.
Exactly. You know what? Me and my girlfriend have this fight all the time because she has TikTok. And every time over, she always shows me TikToks. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. That's fine. But like, I'm like, babe, I'm probably gonna see this on either YouTube or Instagram or somewhere, because at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to copy each other, especially Instagram. Instagram has copied everything from everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, but minus its own original platform, but like Reels, like come on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Even stories. They copy stories from Snapchat.
Yeah, verbatim.
But here's the
And it's
thing:
like-
is that like Instagram is like notorious for taking something and killing the platform that it came from, right? Like Snapchat died after Instagram stories became a thing. But there are still more views and like shares and stuff on TikTok than the
Than
Instagram
Reels, yeah.
Reels.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, well that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like that was Instagram's way of just trying to, I guess, stay relevant with
Right.
with TikTok,
The
right?
current
Because
Like
Yeah.
kind of succeeded. You just see the shit get reposted on both anyway. Like Reels are just on TikTok, and like
Yeah.
anybody that's relevant in Reels right now also has a TikTok.
Yeah,
So
like
Yeah.
you can tell that they just copied their TikTok video and pasted it on Reels.
yeah, but like
Yeah,
that's what they do,
basically.
right? Because like they still want to keep up
Oh, for
live
sure.
with their audience on Instagram too. But fuck TikTok, like maybe I'm just
the filters and
I'm-
shit too. Like
yeah, like maybe for 26-year-old, maybe I feel old, but like I just can't bring myself to go around TikTok, even though it just fucking exploded. But like I see some of the content on there, and some is just
it's
like
really cool.
it's like what the fuck is going on? And then there's like this really cool pieces, but then at the end of the day,
There's some really creative people and some really cool shit out there. Like even for like cinematography
100%.
and just like
Oh, yeah.
like the 60-second stories that people like
Mhm.
literal stories, not fucking
Yeah,
Snapchat,
yeah.
like actual like
Like film.
a short
Stories.
film.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy.
like
It's
people will
crazy.
put on these really really cool short films. There's this one guy like Billy that does like these cardboard. I don't know if you know him. It's like 8ILLY is his tag, but he'll do like these like cardboard films, and they're just really really creative. Where they're like just really well edited, and he just will tell a short story, and it won't be a very complicated one, but all the props are just cardboard like comic book style cutouts.
Mhm.
So like he'll be like drinking, he'll like put cardboard ice cubes into a cardboard cup and like shake it around and like stop motion animate, and it's just like cool creative shit like that. And it's like
that's it.
yeah, like you know what I mean. And it's like he can do that. TikTok's a great place where it's just 30 seconds. It's like slapstick. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and it's super easy to share.
So we all agree yes? Like,
Yes.
That's
yeah.
Yes.
it's
Let's
killing
kill all the other ones. Let's leave Twitter for last because I think most of these we can get through easy. iTunes goes an F with Spotify. I don't know why that's there.
it. WhatsApp.
WhatsApp gets an A at least.
Really?
really
I don't in
So okay, you know what? Well, I may retract
I may
it,
say B.
but I think
I
it's
would
still
say
a
B.
very very strong app. Again, for me personally, like I give it an A just because like it's
I wanna
helped me a lot. And again, like it's I look at it from like a business standpoint too, because surprisingly enough, a lot of people like to use WhatsApp just to communicate with each other, which is I find rather odd. But hey, if that's how I have to do it, that's how I have to do it. So that's the only reason why I'm giving
Hear
it
me
an A.
out?
Yeah, go for it.
Hear me out. WhatsApp goes in the same bin as Messenger.
That's
It's a
exactly
tool,
what I'm
not
saying.
a social media.
That's what I'm
Ah,
saying.
Let's just
fair
not
enough.
Uh,
rank it.
Right?
Fair
Like,
enough.
I
Fair
would
Very
say,
different demographics,
Fair
but I
enough.
think
Fair
like
enough.
WhatsApp is an amazing tool. I communicate with basically all my family that's like above the age of 30 on WhatsApp.
I agree.
Like
But you
it's like a
you're
weird
completely right.
demographic of that, but like yeah, but it's a tool. It doesn't really stand alone for interaction.
right?
Yeah,
I think
that's
they're
fair.
slightly more successful than messengers in terms of making a group. But I don't think
Yeah.
that it's anywhere near Discord, which is why if we considered it a social media, it would be F. I think it's
That's
great
it,
in
yeah,
terms of
100%.
communication. But in terms of
Yeah,
networking,
it is amazing for.
No, I agree.
iMessage is in the same boat as that.
yeah, just messaging tool.
I just message Google Hangouts.
So it's interesting because it was also a live streaming platform, if you remember.
Yeah,
I actually live streamed on
Google Hangouts is
like
also turned into
7-8 years ago.
It's turned into Google Classroom, or like Google Classroom is basically built on whatever Google
And Google
Hangouts used to
Meet.
be.
and whatever now.
Yeah, and like all that cool stuff. I don't know. It kind of almost feels like like it didn't do any of the things that like in hindsight, Skype's almost also a tool now that I'm thinking about it as well. Like I just wanted to shit on Skype, which is why I wanted to give it a like low rank.
Right.
But realistically, like
would-
it and Skype never made it to that Discord point of owning any social parts of it.
I'm okay with
Yeah,
taking
100%.
Skype out of the rankings, but I do think Hangouts had a social aspect. Like there were people that I met on Hangouts, or like just the fact that you could stream and I would have random viewers at times. Like definitely.
Oh, fair enough.
It was a thing.
Fair enough. Replace Skype with Hangouts.
Okay.
Just put it like it wasn't. It existed, Did it do a great job? I don't know. It wasn't objectively bad, but
I
it
think
did
it
not
made
stay relevant.
space for like better things than Skype. It was like, hey, you
Yeah.
can do more with video
You
chat.
can compete, yeah.
And then
We can compete.
other apps said,
Didn't
okay.
Discord? I feel like Discord came out around the same time.
So how long
No,
has
pretty later.
how long has
Discord-
Discord been
No.
around? Because I've been using it for
2012?
maybe 4 years, and I know it's been out longer.
Jeremy, pull that up.
Yep. 2015, actually. Holy shit.
Wow.
Launched
5
in
years.
2015.
Yeah,
Or
I was
Google
gonna say.
Glass.
Preview. Let me see. I'm actually curious. When was this incepted? Its initial release was on 2015. Was there a beta? Because I feel like I might have used something like that. I just
Hangouts
flashed
is
things myself.
2013.
It's so bright.
Which is about right.
Yeah, so it's a little bit afterwards. Yeah, that makes sense. That actually does line up. I was in high school, so. Damn. It feels like it's been so much longer. What the fuck? Last 5 years of my life, that goddamn long? Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. I guess 6. We're in 2021. All
So
right, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Donovan,
Hey, at
go on
least.
go
I
on.
think this
My
is
tangent?
really
I don't
good
know.
for
I don't
corporate
have the energy.
connections. I don't think you would ever use it for anything other than corporate. I think if you can get clients that are corporate, it's good for you even if you're not. But like, so for instance, if you only did YouTube, why would you use LinkedIn? If you only did like DJing or like acrobatics jobs that I happen to do, I like LinkedIn to me is kind of useless. Like I have it.
Yeah.
But unless you're going to deal with corporate partners, I don't think there's a
LinkedIn is
reason you should use it.
unironic r/Wall Street bets.
It's really just a platform of stock tips.
No, like I don't know. Like I what I mean by that is just like like you go into ours, like Wall Street Bets is really funny. Like some people take that seriously, but it's like a very ironic and like satirical space. But the vibe I feel in a lot of LinkedIn stuff, like I don't know, there was like you get like those old connections, like the people I used to know in high school and stuff. And then I like will every once in a while just go on to LinkedIn and I'll just like scroll because I'm curious.
Oh, I love to do that.
And like the things that I will see from these people I used to know, like I'll see like my like whatever. Let me come up with a name. Like I'll see like my boy Ahmad or whatever, like who used to like flex his Honda Civic and like smoke weed and go to parties, and now he's like, I'm doing like join me on like my podcast where we talk about finance, and he's got like the suit and tie on, and it's just like it's just so funny, like the tone, the difference. Like this was the boy that was low riding to his knees, like like the fuck boy of the school and shit, like like just things like that, and you're like, wow,
it's
so
always
funny
those
how
guys
people
too,
change.
that their parents like kick them in the shin, they're like, do better. It's like, of course.
But that's not the summary of the whole platform, but it's just like that there's like this tone to the platform.
There is
and
a
it's
different.
just I don't know if that makes it a bad social media,
No,
but I feel
think
like
it does
there's
its purpose really well.
I just don't like it. That's the problem. I don't think it's bad. It's just not the vibe I'm trying to catch. I get that it works, and I respect the people that try to like play that networking game in that way. That's not that ain't me though. I don't know. I like to genuinely believe. I like to genuinely believe that being yourself and like just upfront, like if I can't be myself around you, I don't want to work with you. And LinkedIn is not a platform where I can apply that principle and I think have any success.
Do I still have it downloaded?
Like,
Diggler, I'm gonna add you right now.
That is like I also have a LinkedIn.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's like,
yo, I'm at LinkedIn, bro.
All right, let me add you all.
Yo, bro, I'm at
Oh, that's
LinkedIn.
also how I know. I don't like that. Dude, the amount of times I'll be at like co-op or things, and I'll be talking to somebody. I'll be like, maybe you're a person, that'll be like a big first impression for me. After like I've spoken to you, if you're like add me on Insta, or you're like we should connect on LinkedIn. And if you say we should connect on LinkedIn, I'm gonna be a little sad. I don't like to judge books by their cover, but I'm gonna be sad.
But I think that's like a coming of age thing. Like I completely agree. Like if you can't be yourself, just like at all times, then like yes, what's the point?
And like I don't want to discredit people that are like that, because I know there's people who play that game, and that there are people like that corporate space exists for a reason. I don't think every person is in there like fucking jerking it, trying to fake it till they make it. But I know there's a lot of pressure to do that. Like there's a lot of pressure to try and be one of those people. And a lot of reason, like there's a lot of things that tell you to like encourage you to do so. And
Like that's the
personally for
language
me,
they
that's
speak,
just
right?
not- yeah.
It's
That's
a
just not my
completely different
vibe.
language. Like I like.
Sorry, Nero. I want to give Nero a chance to speak on this because he's gonna have a very
Nero,
different
go
opinion.
for it.
No, it's just funny. I was just reading a comment. It said if you add me on LinkedIn, I unfriend you in real life.
We're already connected, actually. I went to add you, and we're already connected.
Well,
And
I know.
there it
'Cause
is.
I shared a post. I reshared a post of yours.
Oh,
About you, and then
hell yeah.
I was like, I didn't get a like back on the reshare. You know, I was just expecting these social norms.
Sorry,
but-
bro. I never check it. I definitely will.
No, but I follow the same suit that you said, Donovan. Suit.
You've all been added on my LinkedIn, by the way. Dirk, you're
Yeah.
on
God,
there.
finally.
Adrian, Donovan, welcome to my social circle.
I'm gonna check my LinkedIn, bro.
Finally.
I'm gonna check my LinkedIn, bro. Watch. I'm watching right now. We're gonna do a live reaction.
Live reaction of.
Do you have a suit? Hold on. If you have a suit in your profile picture, I'm actually I'm gonna leave this Discord call.
No, see, at least I actually put on a edgy sweater, but
Dude,
How old
I
is
put
my
on my
LinkedIn
color,
profile? I tried to redo it, and then I don't know what happened. I love how your fucking flower in the hair is your fucking LinkedIn profile picture. That's so
Yeah,
good.
I told you, bro. Okay, yeah, at least it's a photo of you, like actually
DJ, yeah.
Dude, if it was like if you had like gotten somebody to take like a like you know like the classic like interview photo shoot, like where you just like you're like smiling at the camera and you have like the slightly like 3/4 profile looking straight. Yeah, I would have actually cried.
Why are you attacking
I
me?
think
Oh, that's good shit.
I love you, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh man, there's just dude. Okay. I'm in business and comp sci at my school, right? So it's like you get like the both angles, and it's just like I've spent the last 4 years of my life surrounded by a lot of people that are like the real like people that are in real life, literally LinkedIn news feeds. It's like crazy, and it made me realize like these people are real. Like I used to be at a point where I'm like, there's no way corporate is fake. All of this is just a big scheme. All of these people are playing pretend so that they can they can make money and be rich. I was convinced. I was like, there's no way these people exist and genuinely think like this. That's I've
funny.
learned that they do exist. I've also learned they are valid. I say that in like in a like I've learned to like understand that it's like not as stupid as
Okay.
you like paint it out to be,
So
right?
where do we put it?
Sorry, Neru? I want to give Neru his
Yeah.
last thought. Neru deserves the last thing.
I was just gonna say we can move on because I think Twitter is much more interesting now. As
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we
yeah.
could possibly maybe even put it into.
Does it belong in
B?
Yeah, I'm
B
thinking
or C?
BA.
I was thinking B. I think it belongs with like Steam and those guys in it serves its niche well. Like the people
Yeah.
who are on
Yes.
it, and it is the
Yes.
best platform for those people that are in there, and it doesn't really have a lot of relevance outside of that.
I agree.
Okay. We got the big boy here. What do we think
The
about Twitter?
big boy. I hate Twitter,
So
but that's also an
have
opinion.
Twitter,
That is not.
but I
that's not-
don't use Twitter.
I am very hot. I
Yes,
don't.
Just here before I let you go, I
No, you guys
personally
go
don't have Twitter anymore.
Me neither.
Okay. Oh my god.
Go figure.
But like
Ryan, do you have?
I had my Twitter phase, but then like up until recently, I'm just like again, I try not to consume too much information as well. I rather just keep it to just one platform because I think Twitter is just like its own fuckfest of just craziness. So and like my friends like just I'm always going to see tweets anyway on Instagram because it's going back to TikTok.
Yeah.
True.
Yo, add
No, my
OnlyFans
favorite
to the list
TikTok
of things
trend-
we should talk
Can
about.
we talk? Oh yeah, we should talk about that. That'd be funny. Get Belle Delphine as a fucking.
I
get her on
tweeted
your
at her.
podcast as a special
Funny
I
guest.
just
Yeah.
saw this for the first time. How about OnlyFans? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay, bro. I'm just like, my favorite thing is that TikTok trend of like you get your shitty green screen face looking at a tweet, and that's the meme. You know, have you seen like you've seen those memes where it's just some dude like just looking at it with their shitty, and it's just a retweet, like it's just a picture of the tweet. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Why someone commented OnlyMans? I'm like that
Oh.
seems like a subset.
Yo.
That's just a
That
Omegle.
seems like
Oh my
yeah.
god.
a
Yo,
subset of, like,
OnlyMans?
Toronto photographers and
Holy
Toronto people.
shit. Yo, can we get? Oh, that's actually genius. I wanna
Only
start
mans.
that.
I love
Only
that.
mans.
That's a
Dude,
solid.
that's my for my next hackathon. I'm gonna take that one. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Ryan,
For
are
terrible
you on
hacks.
Twitter?
So yeah, I'm on Twitter. And I don't really use it. I see how it can be engaging, but for whatever reason, to me, Twitter lacks the initiative to get on. Like, to me, you go onto Twitter if you have a platform, right? Or you're invested in a platform, and then you get updates.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter is popular because it is the only. So hold on, I want to think how. Sorry, I just had this thought based on what you said, which is really interesting. And it's that Twitter is the social media that everyone goes to when they have something to say, and that is its identity.
Mhm.
You can Twitter is a place where you have an opinion to share. Period. Like it is basically it is replaced what used to be like LMS for a TBH on Facebook. Like that, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. That's what Twitter is like the modern day replacement of. And I'm trying to
Right.
think, and I feel like it's successful because it's the only thing that really occupies that space. Reddit kind of assumes you're either really, really interested in a topic or have like something constructive or creative, or you have something to provide. Like you're not just venting. You are contributing some piece of substantive something. Instagram is basically like, unless you're going onto your spam, which I feel like some people will like use like Finstas or spam accounts to kind of fill the same niche as Twitter, but they will. Instagram is like highlights and like the best part of your life. Like if you had to snapshot all of the best things, it is not like an opinion or a rant place. That's like where only the like the prettiest rose tinted version.
Mm-hmm.
And like Discord is with friends. It's not public. It's personal. Like all of these other big social medias, there isn't really one that's just like a public opinion board.
Yeah.
But like circling back, like what Ryan said, it's interesting because I feel like that's what has led to the Twitter culture so much. Is that Twitter's whole there are two reasons you go to Twitter. You go to Twitter because I have something to say, or it's somebody you care about, or you want to know what somebody you care about has to say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And those are the two big driving forces
I agree.
on Twitter.
See, at the end, I think at the end of the day, anyways, with all these platforms, it just depends on the user that's actually using it, right? So, for me personally, I use Twitter mainly to keep up with sports or Formula One news mainly, because
Mhm.
the entire F1 or racing scene is on Twitter, and it's just you can have constant and live updates very, very quickly in that manner.
Yeah,
And
if you
that's
follow
what
the
I'm-
401 on like Twitter, that's like super solid. It tells you like when things are happening, right?
You
Yep.
said 401?
Yeah, like I'm 90% sure there's like a 401 crash thing on Twitter.
Oh,
It doesn't
Yeah.
fit-
Oh,
it-
like there's a bunch of traffic things that'll like update you. Like you can get live tweets about traffic and shit like that.
really?
And,
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
like
know that.
yeah, like weather, and like you can basically get Twitter news, like kind of how you said,
Yeah.
but it's like your radio tweet alerts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff exists.
I use it primarily for that. So that's where I'm bringing my sort of experience and knowledge from, and you know, sharing opinions on that, or sharing people share a lot of photos on that. It's a totally different energy from Instagram photography and people posting on Instagram versus people posting on Twitter. It's almost like there's two different moods basically. Like Twitter is like for the dark, grungy, like people that are depressed, or people that are
Interesting.
like people that are trying to put like more moody type of photography, whereas Instagram is like all like it's
A facade.
a facade. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
There's a lot of landscape, like
Yeah.
pretty places and stuff. Like
yeah,
Mhm.
and Twitter is a lot more of like behind the scenes, like this is what I'm actually look like and what this is actually looking like in real life.
Interesting.
Yes.
So-
To me, like Twitter is like subreddit, except the person is the subreddit, right? Like their thoughts are only linked together by who they are and not the category. So there's entire like subthreads
Yes.
and replies, but it's not necessarily the same. Like people don't even use hashtags all the same either, right? So you can't just say, oh, this is in this specific category. It's just like, oh, this came up. And like I think it is very useful. I haven't
100%.
really found a need for it unless I was already famous or wanted to check in on something that is, really big.
I think that goes back to the conversation of just keeping up with social media entirely, because like if you start to become that person of a higher status, I mean, you could argue that you don't need it. Fuck, who knows? You just completely dominate one platform. But at the end of the day, that's how you really stay connected and actually grow your audience. Because if you really are looking to expand fast, you hit up all these multiple different platforms. So people are getting little pieces of you from like Instagram, from Twitter, even from Reddit. Like, again, you have your best self in these platforms.
Yeah, exactly. So where do we sit on with Twitter then?
A?
Yeah. Like, for whatever reason, I think Twitter continues to
It
be
just keeps
talked about,
going, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And even if like it doesn't seem like the greatest thing for a smaller content creator in terms of like if you have a platform, it definitely offers you everything you'd want. It's like a low investment like live stream where you just send out your thoughts and then your community can engage with you.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
the ones that we have on the side, the ones that didn't come up, what are those? On our list?
We just had Tumblr and Bumble were the two that I wrote down.
Fair.
I don't know if we had any
Um,
other.
I do actually think OnlyFans
ones.
is worth a mention because, like, I know that other people are starting to consider using
and
it.
Patreon.
Yeah. But let's talk about Bumble because y'all have some thoughts about Bumble, right?
I don't know if we can, like.
Well, Bumble
It's
has
rough, yeah.
it's created this very interesting dynamic because what's starting off as a dating platform, they sort of just decide to expand just beyond that. So they're kind of not just doing a service to people who are looking for something.
Yo, one second. I'll be right back. I got something.
Okay.
He's gonna go put on his fucking Bumble hat or some shit. He's got some sponsored merch. I'm pretty sure.
I see a sponsored hat. I
swear
leave.
to God, not right now.
We're leaving as soon as that
that's
comes
fine.
back.
Don't actually leave the chat, but like just leave the room.
Yeah, just like stand up and walk away. Honestly, there's a lot. I don't know. So Bumble is probably the most interesting one to talk about. In terms of like other dating apps, only because like they are trying to grow into like Bumble Work and Bumble Meet. Like there's like Bumble Friends, and they have like the Bumble Corporate. Like they're actually trying to build it is still a tool, but some kind of like social media. As opposed to other dating apps. Like the only reason I feel like Tinder gets a mention is because it's so big.
Yo, what are the chances that somebody wants some merch?
Yeah, I would fucking.
He did it.
I called that shit. Yeah, I called that shit. Oh, I forgot about the visor. I was there when he got both those people.
You were left.
I was there when he got all this shit.
Oh my God.
Good times. All right, sponsor us, please. Following.
Thanks, Bumble.
I don't know.
But speaking of merchandise and whatnot, get 10% off at seekdiscomfort.com.
And there it is.
Holy shit! How can you wear? Oh,
the
Lord.
Plugs?
Good shit.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. I think they definitely did better as like a friend to friend and like in terms of
even
growing
business.
Is a good idea. Oh yeah, they have the Bumble Biz, right?
They have like their
I won't even like not even talking shit. I've actually used the Biz app. I will say it was a little bit of a weird dynamic for me, but like as someone who was kind of like just trying to like find random models just again to like that habit of just working with different people all the time and just being socialized. But it was crazy to see the amount of responses. I mean, really, it was just a bunch of people looking for headshots, but it exists. Like oddly enough, like there's people still talking on it and people are looking for business. So it works. It's weird, but it works.
Slap it in B tier. B for Bumble. I think it's a good in its niche.
Yeah.
I think it is a successful. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Give your thoughts.
No, just I'm at like 10%.
Oh yeah. I think we're wrapping up.
Yeah, we're wrapping up as well. No, that's fair.
Oh, good.
Like I think Hinge kind of sits on like a similar like B-, where it's like it offers you more engagement. I don't think the platform is big enough.
I don't know if I'd even put Hinge on the list. I feel like Hinge is like, I was just saying this before when you were grabbing merch, is like Tinder is large enough that I feel like it warrants a conversation because it has a big enough network effect.
Yep.
But I don't think most dating apps belong in the same pool as like Messenger.
That's fair.
they don't really try to foster community. In that way. Not to say that Tinder does, but I feel like it has a large enough following and a large
It has a
enough network
culture
effect
now,
that it's-
right?
Yeah, like
And not to mention, like Hinge's whole marketing is just based on getting people to delete the app as soon as possible.
Right.
yeah, exactly.
So like they're not just looking; they're just looking for it to be like that one-stop match, and that's it. See you later.
Adrian's a spokesperson.
Fair.
I'm still waiting to get sponsored by Hinge.
True.
Coming
them up, hit them
2022.
That's way too late. He needs it now.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
This week, next week.
I'll tweet at them for you. Okay.
Tumblr can go and see. I don't really have. I use Tumblr. I don't feel very like strongly.
I think
about
Tumblr
it to
was
really
a
rank it.
solid BC until they had their purge and then they dropped because they basically took all of their creators and they kind of like exercised them, right? Like anything that wasn't.
Well, the problem it became a haven for basically a lot of NSFW content. Not
Yeah.
in like, and not even like
not
like
necessarily
some of it
sexual,
was,
but like there was creepypasta and like weird stories and stuff.
yeah,
like
like there was just weird. Like it was kind of like a slightly more tame 4chan, basically.
to me, it was like
You know
the
what-
extension of DeviantArt. You know?
You know what
Kind
didn't
of.
get a mention? 9gag. I feel like the 9gag should have been on here. And like not to say it, like I'll say it. I'm on there all the time, but like fuck. For memes and like I look at those comment sections and sometimes it's hilarious. I think it's one of those just like it serves its purpose as just showing memes. You know what I mean? So
Fair.
Yeah.
but it, like
I wish-
I will say like I'm pretty deep in the 9gag community because I've been like on it like my entire life and like I've grown up to meme culture as much as I hate to say it, but like it's really funny because like I've seen like a lot of these people will always revert back to like older memes just to like relate to something that's happening
Right.
currently. So again, it's not the biggest community, but like I've seen a community in it, which is I find is pretty hilarious. So the meme community.
No, that's fair. To me, it's a thing that serves a purpose, but like it does it really well. I've just never been on there for social reasons.
Oh no, beyond
Yeah.
social capacity, no, not like that. I guess I'm just more
Just
in the rabbit hole of the
appreciation,
comment
honorable
section.
mention.
Yeah.
yeah,
fair.
I got you.
Um,
Respect.
and then
This looks like a list.
yeah, no, I think we're pretty solid. That went really long, so
It
I'm
did.
not
We
gonna
had a lot
stream
more.
some games tonight, but that was good. Also, our
That was a good
engagement
time.
was hella good, guys. We had like 16 viewers for over an hour. Like,
That was sick.
18 at one point. 20 at
holy
one point.
shit!
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
like we're moving the content in the right direction.
We did. I did boost us a little bit, I think.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I went and I thought this would be fun. I thought some of my friends would enjoy this. I posted around.
Some of our Discord chat from our editing group also joined in.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, guys. Pretty soon we're gonna have a IV cam gang and we'll start selling merch.
We can get a real webcam.
Get the fucking sponsorship, bro.
God damn. Yo, please, somebody sponsor me and get me a fucking
The
serial key
IV
for
Cam
IV
sponsorship.
Please just give me.
I'm gonna get Donovan a sponsorship, and I'm gonna make him do a 45-degree LinkedIn headshot as torture.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that.
All right, we're gonna
You
use the IV Cam to get your LinkedIn picture. There it is. That's your screenshot.
Oh yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
And you gotta have like the slightly serious, but like the slight. You gotta
Yes,
get
this
the.
is
dude.
exactly my profile picture on LinkedIn with a raincoat.
Oh,
Ah, yeah. Let's go. Let's
That's
go.
a little bit unprofessional.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up for the VOD, and then I'll go off stream, and
Yes,
we'll have like
sir.
a couple minute debrief. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all are the greatest. This has been a lot of fun.
Yes.
All
This
of their
was a good
socials
time.
will be linked in the description if you're catching this on YouTube. They're stellar creators and definitely worth your time. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Peace out.